Today's sponsor of the Vision Quest podcast is 920 Hat Company. Leather patch hats are in, and 920 Hat Company is here to hook you up with your very own custom hat. All patches are lasered on top-grade genuine leather and on popular brand hats like Richardson and FlexFit. Whether you're looking to show off your business or want a one-of-a-kind hat for yourself, 920 Hat Company can do it all. All the hats are handcrafted right in the Fox Valley, but worn across America. With over 500 hats in stock, they guarantee fast turnaround times. Honestly, Liam, looking at these hats, solid, right?
Yeah, they're pretty. I like them.
I like that patch itself.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, one-of-a-kind stuff. I know his name's Trevor. He does great work. He's actually gotten I think we got a knit hat coming.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we got that coming. So we're really excited to have these guys on board as a sponsor. So get down to check them out on Facebook. I believe they're on Instagram. Check them out, man. They got the best hats, I think, in the Fox Valley, if not in the state.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So get down to 920 Hat Company on social media and check them out. All right, everybody. We have yet another episode here of the Vision Quest podcast. We are joined by one of the guys I guess I haven't stopped to talk to you at a tournament. I've seen you at every single tournament almost that I go to, but I'm joined with Jordan Crass of Crass Train, man. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Staying alive. Waiting for that warm up to come this weekend, man.
6 more weeks. He saw his shadow, man. 6 more weeks.
Scared little furry rodent.
Doesn't bother me. I love it when the snow's on the ground because that means the mats are down.
The mats,
Here the mats are down always, but you know what I mean? Like, hey, man, when the snow's on the ground, we're scrapping.
Yeah,
so
people are focused. That's right. Exactly.
Right.
So
the room's pretty full.
Where are you? Where's your club located?
So I'm in Altoona, which is just a small town right next to Eau Claire.
Okay.
The only thing separating them is Highway 53. Just runs right down there. So yeah, the UW Eau Claire is here. Tim Fader's done an awesome job with that team.
Yeah,
and so it's a fun place to have a wrestling club. You can catch college duels. You can there's a really nice Husky invite the first part of the year with a lot of tough teams at it.
Yeah,
there's good high school wrestling in this area. There's some really good D3 powers in the area. Tradition rich high schools.
Yeah,
that have been around forever. And when we looked at settling the business in Eau Claire, it's really easy to get here. There's a lot of major highways that intersect right here.
Yeah.
Highway 29, Highway 53 goes north, Highway 29 goes east and west. 93 runs down to La Crosse, and then you got 94 all the way to Madison, Minneapolis. So it's pretty easy to get here from anywhere. We totally upped our level about 3 years ago when we built the sports complex here.
Yeah.
Now we're able to hold events, and we did some club duels a couple months ago that went really well.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to do that seasonally. Guys can get a state tournament quality bracket and be in and out in a few hours, and do it in a team aspect. Nice. It's really fun. The kids love it.
Yeah.
So that's something that we're going to be pushing more moving forward. We're going to do some freestyle and Greco duels over in DC at DC Everest.
Yeah.
That we're going to help host in April. The 29th, the day before the youth state.
Nice. So, very cool.
So we're just trying to provide as many opportunities as we can up here.
Yeah.
Everything's a little more spread out. Everything's a little more sparse up here.
Yeah.
So we got to do the best we can.
Yeah.
So we actually have a couple locations. We got another location over near Marshfield.
Okay.
A small town called Loyal.
Oh yeah.
It used to be a bowling alley, and we bought the bowling alley and took the lanes out, and it's got all them engineered trusses in there.
Yeah.
So there's no poles. It's 2 big mats uninterrupted.
Nice.
And then where the bar area is turned into a parent's lounge.
Why is that? Why'd you take that away? Why'd you take the bar away? That bar is a nice added feature.
Right. Dude, I don't know. Some of these freaking tournaments you go to, I went to this tournament down in Iowa, and there's coaches standing in a corner drinking beer right in the freaking tournament. I took a picture. I was like, are you kidding me? I said, what's up with USA Wrestling?
Yeah.
USA Wrestling event. And they're like, well, the venue wants, the venue's selling beer to make money.
Well, yeah.
And I said, well, do they know that beer and wrestling don't go well together? I mean, you got to wrestle first and then have the beer.
Yeah, if you're charging for the beer, quit charging the parking lot then.
Mm-hmm. tailgate scenario.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's crazy. I remember when I started that Sawdust Nationals tournament, they had a little area, and it was outside of everything, but it was just this little bar, but it was open during the tournament. And I went up to other people. I was like, "Whoa, hey, can we have this open? I don't know if this is safe." I was like, "We have some angry parents here, like." It's a youth tournament.
Right. Got to control yourself.
A little bit. Cool. So did you come up in wrestling? Are you from like a wrestling family? Is that the background you have?
My dad wrestled like in high school and stuff.
Yeah.
But, he's from a farm family and they all had chores to do and stuff. So they got to pick, all the kids in his family got to pick one thing, whether it was band or choir or wrestling because otherwise you had expectations at home to fulfill, for the family farm. And so, we were just really much raised, so my dad like made it to sectionals one year, I think his senior year. And I mean, he liked the sport and everything. And then I grew up on a dairy farm in central Wisconsin, and my older brother came home one day, and the kid up the road on the bus was like, "Hey, I'm wrestling. You should wrestle." And then my dad was like, "Well, if I'm taking him, I'm taking all of them." You know what I mean? Because he's only 2.5, 3 years older than us.
Yeah.
So it didn't take long. I mean, we got in that room, and it was having a twin brother and an older brother. It was always a fight at home for anything you wanted anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So by the time we got in there, I got to practice, and I was already pretty good at fighting.
Yeah.
It didn't have a lot to do with wrestling.
Yeah.
Youth wrestling doesn't have a ton to do with skill. It's a lot about who's more aggressive, who's stronger, who wants to fight a little bit more is usually the winner, right? So we gravitated to it, and it was awesome. And we were small. My dad knew we were going to be small guys, and it was like a chance for you to fight somebody your same size. And we did a lot of we did all the youth sports as kids. I mean, one of the very first sports that grabbed us was gymnastics. We were in gymnastics when we were little for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that helps.
Doing tons of tumbling and not so much any of the other stuff.
Yeah.
We do the bars and the parallel bars and stuff, but a lot of the other stuff, beam and vault and stuff that they had was girls only stuff. So we didn't even mess with that stuff. And our coach was pretty cool because she knew we were kind of doing it for wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Right? So it was more tumbling and but then it got to a point where we were in like 7th grade where it was like, okay, you're either going to go the gymnastics route or you're going to go the wrestling route.
Yeah.
And we were going to do either join that AWA or the Advanced School of Wrestling in Madison,
with Brad,
which is now AWA. Well, that was started by Troy and Terry Steiner.
Yeah, that's right.
Years ago, when Title IX cut one of their positions. I can't remember which one it was, and they started that club. And so then my parents were like, all right, well, if we're gonna drive from Medford to Madison, which at that time was like 2.5 hours, 3 hours one way, it's quite a commitment, Yeah, and so we did. And then my dad and my older would drive us down there. We were lucky. My mom had a company car, and they soaked that thing for gas.
It's always the little things, those little angles.
Oh man, it has to make it work.
Little angles.
You got to make it work.
That's right. I think we find ourselves a lot like that.
Frugal dude. Like I remember one time he went out to Fargo to watch my brother and stayed with another guy and had 2 hot dogs and was bragging to my mom how he did the whole trip on $8. And I was like, what? Not that
Fargo,
he needed to. He's just like that.
Yeah.
He's just like that.
Yeah.
He grew up.
Some guys are just built that way, man. That's what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all good. I know I got
so we moved it.
Got a wife like that. She's pretty stingy with a lot of stuff. It is smart because I'm not that person.
Lost art these days.
Right.
Lost art these.
Right.
But and then we moved into town when I was maybe 10.
Okay.
5th grade, 5th grade.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a game changer because all of a sudden my dad was helping at the high school with the wrestling team, and then we had a key to the high school wrestling room.
Yeah,
and we lived about 2 miles away.
Was that a blessing at the time or a cursing?
It was awesome because we didn't break stuff in the house anymore.
Killer. Then you less
trouble. My mom was thrilled.
Yeah.
My mom was thrilled. Get these monsters out of here.
Yeah.
Age them up in that room with all the pads on the walls and let them go nuts. Bring them home when they're dripping wet and tired.
Yeah. That's awesome.
He wasn't, yeah. Mm-hmm. And my mom was tough. Behind every good wrestler, you're going to find a tough mom.
Oh, man. You know it.
You know what I mean? Almost always. It's like there's got to be nowhere to hide kind of thing.
There's, that's the thing with wrestling moms. They may be crazy, but don't ever encounter them in the parking lot because they'll fucking kill you.
Well, it's just like
that's
it's
their
a mama
child
bear thing, right? And then the sport is so physical.
It is,
and it's like, geez, just
realize
yeah, I mean,
fresh new video out of this lady. I think she's watching her son. She's pushing him in the face.
I saw it. Yeah, pushing the dad, like just roughing the dad up,
and he's taking
the guy with her. Yo,
he's
been there 1,000 times,
right?
You can tell.
It's a great another Sunday. Here we go.
Yeah, his freaking whole left arm's bruised up.
Yeah, right. Punch and pin him in the face. Yeah. Well, that's. I mean,
so I see a lot when with rookies.
Oh yeah.
As kids come in, it's like they don't understand. I said, "Hey, man, there's no helmet in this game. Nobody's wearing any pads.
Nope. They
and
make those fancy headgear.
And we learn how to do this. It's all, and that's where the gymnastics is key when they're little.
Is it? Yeah.
It's all about body control.
Right.
And like you get a lot of these little kids in there, and it's like the first thing we're teaching them how to do is like a forward roll, and a backward roll, and a bridge, and a back
cartwheel,
walking around their head in a circle, and just what's a cartwheel. The number of kids that you see come in between K through 3rd grade that can't do a cartwheel.
That's my kid. He couldn't either at that time. And
it's like we got to get these guys more athletic, and it's like you start looking at like what the higher level countries, like what I mean, just like
Russia.
Like what are the Russians doing? Yeah, what are the Iranians doing? What's Cuba doing?
Yeah.
What are the what I mean? And it's like, well, don't study them when they're 35 and you're 26 and great. Look at what they're doing when they were 4.
Yeah,
because that's what led to them being great at 26, right? And it's a ton of gymnastics, and it's a ton of resistance band training, and it's a ton of like just body control, right? So we just really push a lot of that with our young guys.
That's awesome.
Body control. We spend like probably 20 minutes, and we only have them in here for an hour, the little ones, and we probably spend 20 minutes warming up, doing cartwheels, doing flips, learning back handsprings, learning all that kind of stuff.
That's perfect.
Because I think it's equally as important at that young age, especially.
Did you
and some
notice,
kids have it.
As a kid, though, I mean, when you were wrestling coming up, did you notice that gymnastics was a good thing, or were you just kind of lucky to run into that knowledge?
Dude, I went there for the girls.
Sick. Yes.
When I went there for the first time, I was like, there's going to be a bunch of chicks there.
They are.
And my brother didn't go because there was a bunch of girls there, and he was all nervous, cried, and stayed at home. and then I went home, and I was like, dude, it was awesome. It was so much fun. There's a bunch of cute girls there, chicks, yeah. And he came back, and then we never left. So, no.
Never left the gymnastics. We should have brought the wrestling chicks into the gymnastic chicks in the wrestling room. That'd have been sweet.
No, dude, I tell you what a parallel. I mean, before women's wrestling really got going, and was really, I mean, that was our parallel. That's what wrestling girls did. Yeah, they all did gymnastics, and now I think you're seeing a lot of girls that are in gymnastics that have that athletic prowess and that ability and that mindset. Also want to bring it to the mat. I think it's a great
hands down
crossover sport for gymnasts, and vice versa. Yeah, men and women alike. I mean, it's a great cross training product. Whether you're on either side of the fence, whether your daughter or son is a wrestler or a gymnast.
Exactly. I agree. Totally agree. And honestly, we don't know that stuff because there aren't a lot of clubs that teach that. I mean, there's Askren does push a little bit more than the average. You guys do, just because they know that the kids are trying to get into it. And sometimes there's kids that don't like the brutality of the combat right away. You want to kind of ease them into it and have fun with it. So yeah. I totally agree, but there's just so many clubs that I think parents that they feel so much parent pressure because my kid wants to learn this move. He wants to learn this move, and it's like, all right, now I got to start.
I think a lot of it's fueled by the want to win.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody wants to win, and everybody wants to win right now, and it's like, I get it. Yeah. Man, I freaking hate losing as much as the next guy. But do you know how many kids that beat me when I was a little kid that I beat in high school? Every one of them. Yep. And it's like I would trade all of those losses in junior high for all of those wins in high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'll take that all day.
Correct. Yeah.
And so yeah.
So when you
I just want our kids to love it. You know what I mean? Like I look at kids and it's like if they decide to wrestle Division I, Division II, Division III, NAIA, JUCO, I don't care if they. I just want them to love it. So if the kid comes in and says, "Hey man, I'm going to go wrestle here for the next 5 years," I'm like, "Sweet, I did my job. You love wrestling. There's only one champion. They literally cannot all be champions, right?
Right.
So what is the end game
here?
Johnny's got to be a stud.
Yep.
Susie's got to be a studette. They have to be able to provide. They have to be able to stand alone and be productive.
Yeah.
They have to be accountable. They have to. These are all things that these kids are learning that has nothing to do with winning a freaking match.
At all. Nothing at all. It's all just life.
They're going to be business leaders. They're going to be CEOs.
Correct.
They're going to be entrepreneurs. They're going to be successful because of the chosen suffering that is wrestling.
Life skills, man.
You know, so we're living in a generation where kids think they can't do hard things. And then we have parents that just every time they see a roadblock come up, they want to move the roadblock so Johnny can walk. It's
easier.
Past. Make Johnny learn that he can jump over that roadblock.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Kids can do hard stuff. You got to make them do it. Though.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're willing to.
They will sit on their iPad and watch YouTube all day long, watch other people do hard stuff.
Because if you make it sound like it sucks, then they're going to think it sucks. And then they're not going to want to do it. You know, and that's a lot of, I'm sorry, but it's my generation.
Guess what? It does suck.
It does a lot. A lot.
It is not easy. There's not one part of this that's easy. And that's what makes us different from them.
Yes. Showing up to work is difficult nowadays. A lot of so the plant I run, we have guys that probably call in. They're in some of the easiest positions.
So I come from a manufacturing background. I was a manufacturing engineer.
Yep. That's what I'm dealing with. Calling in constantly. Yeah. It's the dumbest
it's like this.
thing.
I tell the kids at the club, I said, so if you go to just one practice a day.
Yep.
And you do one workout a day.
Yep.
You do one weight lift and you do one wrestling practice, right? You're doing the bare minimum.
Yes.
Everybody's doing that.
Yeah.
So if I'm your boss after a year and you come to me and I say, and you come to your performance review and I say, well, you did the bare minimum, you might get fired. You sure as hell aren't getting a 3% raise that everyone else is supposed to get per company mandate.
Cost of living,
right? Yeah. And it's like, if you're done doing the bare minimum, you're probably getting canned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most
it's
likely.
Being happy you got a C on your test. It's the guy with the C's unemployable.
But you can retake tests 5,000 times.
You gotta try more. You gotta try harder. It's gotta happen.
Hey, could you retake tests in high school? I don't remember that.
Never, bro. You got to retake grades, homie, and that was it.
You got to retake the beating from last year if you got D's and F's. That's what you got.
I'll be like talking to kids, watching kids do moves, and I'm watching them do the move, and I'm like, dude, you're wrong. I said, you got to do this. Slow down. I said, you're wrong. I said, you're wrong again. I said, you only get to be wrong so many times, and then you're just dumb.
Yeah, right.
Slow down and figure this out, dude.
Yes.
You just keep doing it wrong, and then you're going to be dumb.
You're dumb.
That's like math. Like learning wrestling's like learning math. It's
complex.
It's very step by step, and there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. Yeah. And it's like
you got to show your work.
There's a right answer, right theorem to apply to every problem. Right, you can make a simple machine to get yourself out of any situation you're in, but you got to know what you're looking for. And when you drill, you have to be so specific.
Yeah, right.
Because when you're not specific in your drilling, that's how you wrestle when you're tired.
So
that's how you wrestle when the lights go off.
When did you? Because watching a couple of your matches, I mean, you obviously have drive. I mean, you were wrestling some pretty high level dudes, and you were doing pretty damn good back in the day. So when you came up through just youth programs and stuff, what gave you motivation, and what kind of club were you at? Besides, did you just go over to Advance and work with those guys, or was it school and Advance, or when did you really start mixing wrestling?
When we were little, there weren't really no clubs.
Yeah.
Like the first club I ever went to was Scott Arneson's Northern Exposure, which was like a freestyle Greco training site.
Yep, I remember hearing about
like
those
a
guys.
WWF training site that was held at Merrill High School. So Scott was my coach my whole career.
Oh,
from the time I was a little boy all the way. And Medford to Merrill is like 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's not far at all.
I made it in like 32 one time and got pulled over as a kid. Oh, yeah, of course.
I did that a lot.
Going to practice.
Yeah.
We were always going to practice. So I think it was like Sunday, Thursday back then.
Yeah.
And we just went all the time, outside of season. Obviously didn't have it during season. So we did a lot of garage wrestling.
Nice.
Like
that's what I like.
When we started going down to Advance, we realized like there's some curly haired kids that are pretty darn good, and then this little Japanese looking dude, and it was like, well, those are the Henning boys and Luke Smith, and then we realized they're in Chippewa and we're in Medford and we're an hour away. And
yeah.
Like, well, let's just start wrestling in the garage with each other.
Yeah, let's do this.
And so we go over to Henning's, we'd go in the garage. If they came over by us, we could use the wrestling room.
Yeah,
because my dad had the wrestling key.
Yeah,
but then we got hooked in with Chuck. My dad got hooked in with Chuck Askren, and we got to know Ben and Max at a very young age.
Nice.
And so we did a lot of, and they had a wrestling room in their basement.
Oh.
So we did a lot of, we would come down there and stay for, a few days and wrestle with the Arrowhead lightweights.
Yeah.
They would come up and we'd try to have like Grant Peisig from Menominee over and Matt Ballman from Stratford over and give them some big guys to wrestle with.
Yeah.
And we just kind of networked
That's
it's
cool.
kind of funny because if you look at a lot of these guys that own these clubs now, they're all guys from that era that did this together as little kids. You know, the D'Elias, Anthony D'Elia out of Higher Level Wrestling. They're a Ringers affiliate, I believe now.
Coach Oli,
But they were at our house all the time.
Nice.
Them and the Azarians, all the way up in Medford at our farmhouse, like working out, like just wrestling, boxing, doing it all.
Whatever you could do to beat the shit out of each other.
So that's kind of how it started, and then so we were always kind of teaching each other stuff, learning stuff from each other, like kind of our own worst critics, best critics kind of thing, and then there was always a drive. It's like after every single practice got done, we had to have a fight, like a whole group fight. And it'd be like
a WWE type thing.
You tap out, you'd sit on a wall, and then all of a sudden it'd be like one guy'd be left, and Ben would be like the last guy left. And it wasn't because he was such a great fighter.
Because he was fat.
It's because he was so stubborn. Somebody'd be like, "Dude, I do not want to break your elbow." You're
gonna have to.
I'm going to break your arm, and he's like, then break it.
Yeah, do it, dude.
Then break it. And dude's like, I'm not breaking it. We got to go to a tournament in like a week or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like the middle of June. We're getting ready for Fargo. Yeah, and he was just like playing chess, and everybody else was playing checkers, and just too nice. And he's just like, dude, try it. Break it. I remember one time those guys came up and we stayed like out in the middle of the woods at a cabin, and we put them on 4-wheelers, and that was just not
a good idea.
I mean, all of a sudden somebody's like, "Where's Max? Where's Max?" And I'm like, "I don't know. We'll go look for him." So I jump on this 4-wheeler and I take off flying up thing.
Yeah.
We hear he had freaking dumped the 4-wheeler and he's laying in the woods and the 4-wheeler's like got the throttle stuck and it's like banging into this tree and bouncing back and banging in, bouncing back, and it's still on and running. And
city
and
kids,
like
man.
A little bit of nerve damage in his knee or something. Next time he shows up, he's got a knee pad on him.
Oh, fuck. That's how it should be. That's fun. Like that was
dude. We rolled the mats out
right
right on the driveway in the middle of the sun. I remember the mat tape getting so hot it melt to the mat, and we'd have they'd have coaches come up. Stay up there and coach us for 2-3 days.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, so you guys, you guys really kind of were on the cusp of all that club kind of stuff.
Yeah, we were the first like generation.
Yeah, bringing it together
of athletes that kind of pushed the whole club scene.
Well, and it came together, yeah, because
worked together.
I noticed exactly that's kind of what I was getting to is that the coaching.
Dude, it was the team. When we were little, we used to do a lot of like Team Wisconsin stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think they do so much anymore. Like when we were novices and schoolboys, we would wrestle against Minnesota.
Yep.
And you would have an A and a B team. And they would have an A and a B team. And then you'd wrestle freestyle and Greco. So you'd get 4 matches.
Yeah.
Against their A and B guy in each style. So it was a great event.
Yep.
And I want to bring it back. I'd like to host it right here in Eau Claire. I mean, it's right. It's close. You know what I mean? I really would like to do that because that was an event that like showed little kids from Oconomowoc that they should be friends with guys from Medford.
Yeah, right.
And they could train together and have fun together. And it doesn't always have to be us against them.
Correct.
My favorite time of the year is when is like May 8th when freestyle and Greco State's over and we go from all these clubs to Team Wisconsin.
Yes.
Because it's fun to coach a little bit of everybody. It's fun to coach some of those guys that, and like we've always had a good relationship with most of the other clubs. We're like, hey, if you have a higher end athlete or we have a higher end athlete that's maybe looking for a little more, like we're not going to force your kid to buy a membership at Crass to come up here and wrestle twice a year with one of our top level athletes, right? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense fiscally, right? But like in logic, it's like we all kind of need each other in the end. There's always going to be somebody, it's at another club that could help your kid get a little better, right?
Yep.
And like for me, I'm going through it right now with my own son where it's like I'm looking at options where I can put him in front of as many coaches other than myself as I can because it's like we're running businesses on the fact that you can't like coach your kid and be his dad successfully. It's really hard to do.
I had to pull
right, and it's like it's too hard, right? And
it's
so
hard.
it's like Yeah, you got to have, so we have some young coaches that help out here,
Cool.
guys from the university.
Yeah.
Phil Opel is actually an ex-student of ours that went to college, and he's a chiropractor. He's a applied kinesiologist is his title.
Okay.
And so he's back in the area, and he helps at both facilities.
Nice.
And so Mason Kaufman's back in the area from Northern Illinois. He's down in La Crosse.
Okay.
But he helps out in the summer. When he's around, he'll help out at our Loyal facility, do private lessons with some of our older guys. We're going to try to get him on staff this summer with Wisconsin Wrestling Federation. Just trying to get guys. We're starting to get to the point where we're getting guys coming back.
Yeah.
Getting guys coming back that have been through the program and have been to college and they're doctors, they're chiropractors, whatever. And we're just trying to get them close enough to home where we can get them involved.
Yeah, totally. Because that's what's missing. I think a lot of times what happens is these guys that went through it, even from because I graduated in 97, like a lot of these guys, these dads, we didn't have these opportunities like these kids have now, but we see it, we see the opportunities and the guys, like I played soccer a lot. I wasn't great at wrestling. I was okay, but I quit, but I played soccer, but wrestling helped my soccer. So then if you can get other people involved in it and then bring them back was the biggest thing. Cause we didn't see any of those high school guys in the room when we were wrestling. Those guys didn't come back. You just didn't have that stuff because you had the old coaches. That was the chemistry teacher or something like that. And you were just a wrestling team. But now, like I explained to Liam, when you go up in a Kangaroo and you see Matty Bianchi, Drake Hayward, and all those guys practicing together and literally beating the piss out of each other. Yeah. But getting back up and having a great time. And that is the environment I told them. That's what we need in a room, in every room across the state where these little kids can see these bigger guys putting it to each other like that, getting up, smiling, shaking hands. And we're all from the same state, man. Dude,
there's one thing I always say is like the best kids that have ever come through our club have had one thing in common. They have a group of friends around them that are going through the club at the same time. Yeah. And they're not from the same town. Right. But a lot of them just it's the friendship, it's the culture, it's the community. It's like that's a snowball rolling downhill. Yeah. Right. And as long as you keep throwing good stuff at that snowball, that thing just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. Yeah. And the more people you can get involved, the better. So
we're gonna bring it back to your youth again here. So like in middle school, where did you find, was it middle school or was it high school? When did you find in your head that this sport was it, that you clicked and you're like, I'm doing this. I want to go to college doing this.
Dude, I think we knew right away.
Did you?
I think we knew right away. They did I think I knew right away. I remember they did. We were in third grade and Sports Illustrated for Kids reached out and they did a piece on our family. Oh, and they sent a photographer up from Texas. Yeah. And they shot photos at our farmhouse. And then they went into the wrestling room and shot some photos in there. Nice. And ASICS sent like tennis shoes and wrestling t-shirts and stuff. So we had ASICS wrestling stuff on. It was like, wow. And it was cool, and I think that was just a thing where I was like, why not me?
That's pretty
why not us? Why not? And I think at that point it was just like, and I think that's where my dad was really good. Like he was very like organized and like looking for opportunities and advantages. And it was like, he got a hold of Sports Illustrated for Kids and he was like, yo, my kids are doing something pretty cool up here. And at that time, like my little brother or my twin brother, like literally won every single state title you can win. Oh, really? Except his freshman year in high school, he took second at 103 in Division I. Damn. And so like, other than that, he won all of them. And that was my training partner, my roommate. Yeah. So, what
do you do?
Fifth. All right, sweet.
Can't run from him.
So like, I didn't have a ton of success relative.
Okay.
I was, of a one kid family, fifth, third, sixth, fourth. Hey, pretty dang good. I'm proud of you, Yep. But then you got this dickhead over here taking first every time, and it was like, oh, pretty good, Jordy, but not Josh,
not as good as this guy over here.
Yeah, right. Damn it. And then it took me a little longer to hit my stride or figure it out. And it's like, that's fine because I had a lot of fun in high school.
Well, that's the thing.
A lot of fun, a lot of opportunities.
I look back at like even Liam's career, like you said, in the times where like it wasn't like shit doesn't matter, like when they're kids. No. Like looking back at Liam's, I go all the way back to where track started with him. It was like fourth place, third place.
Wins and losses. The stuff they're doing matters, right? I mean, right. Yeah.
So then I look at him now and just sitting back thinking about being in the stands, like, Yeah, he's way better. Yeah, he's stuck with it and he's getting better. And that's the thing is like a lot of these kids.
You've seen him jump a level in the last 9 months.
Oh man, and the kids that
you know what I mean. But I think a lot of it too is cognitive development, mentally. They start to understand that.
Yes,
this is not like a true speed doesn't exist out here, man. Right. This is about managing reactions.
Yes,
right, and creating reactions you can anticipate and getting him to step in the bucket you're setting out there.
Correct.
And it's a lot of trial and error and patterning behavior, and you know what I mean. And it's like great wrestlers, true intellect. Great wrestlers, true intellect.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, this is high speed chess. You know, we're talking about. I always say to the kids, I say like, hey man, when you get older at a certain point, you know, they talk about Kale's practices and how they're not so long, right? And this and that. It's more like physics than Phi Ed. Like you can fucking jump rope on your own if you need to get in shape. I'm going to teach you how to make a fulcrum here and pull them over it and create some torque and build a lever. And this is all shit that this is a physics class, man. I mean, you all weigh the same. Let's do the math. It should work pretty easy.
That's a lot. You don't hear that a lot in wrestling, talking about the science behind it. You know, you just hear about brute and force and
the fun. Yeah, but that's the fun part. And that's the part that people that don't understand wrestling.
Yeah.
At a high level, that's what they think it is. Oh yeah, well the strongest guy wins. And I always tell the kids this. I say, hey man, if you're doing a move and you got to, it's probably not going to work unless you're struggling
a little bit. Yeah,
so you should be flowing out there, man. And when you feel pressure, you should use it, not fight against it. And
definitely,
you know, just like teaching kids to flow, you know, and they talk about like flow state, mental flow state, like, you know. X Games, you know, snowboarders, race car drivers, motocross guys, you know,
slow
the flow
motion
state
of just kind of go, you know, and
you're not thinking.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
You've done your 10,000 hours and it's all muscle memory, and your nervous system's just coated with all that myelin where you just only can remember what you've done so many times, you know.
Yep. Alchemist.
And that's where I always tell the kids, man, it's a race to 10,000 reps.
It is.
You ain't racing him it's a race to 10,000. So get moving. You're already behind.
Yep. And that's, you know, I tell Liam that, especially when he's younger, I've stepped back a lot. Like, you know, obviously I had a dual team, stuff like that. And, you know, we go across the country, but like, and I coached Liam since he was like 5. So now we get to this point because I literally told him, you're at a point I don't know anymore. You're in a great beyond of things where I didn't get to in this sport. So I'm listening to me as far as motivation, but do not take technique from me because I don't know.
Right.
That's where it's great having good coaches like you guys in the state where you can just put a kid in front of you and let them work. You know,
I feel like my parents are following does a great job of that.
Yeah.
I feel like the people that are here at our club trust us.
Yep.
They trust us. You know, and it's all built on trust.
Yep.
You know, you can see it when they're little. They're in a front headlock, and you tell them grab that ankle and step over it.
Yep.
And they kind of look at you, and then they grab that ankle and they step over it, and the ref goes 2, and then they're like, "Oh yeah,
okay,
yeah, right." And it's like you only need a few moments like that with a little guy, and all of a sudden he's like, run through the wall for you. He can trust you.
Yeah.
He knows you know what you're talking about, right? He knows you can help him.
Yep.
And from there, it's all about making sure that they trust you. You know, and I always tell the parents, I said, listen, you know, I'll know.
Yeah.
Who doesn't trust me?
Oh, sure.
When I watch your kid drill,
yep.
If I'm teaching him a technique and he's doing something different the whole time, why are you doing that?
Yeah, didn't you?
Well, my dad says it says your dad's name on the wall. Get the hell, you know what I mean? Get the hell out of here.
Fuck out
you know,
man.
There's a reason that you're here, right? There's a reason, you know.
Yeah.
But with this new facility, it's beautiful, right? But
dude,
damn windows. Put all these damn windows in this wrestling room, and I'm like, I'm about to get that frost put on them where you can use that. The physical therapy place has it for privacy, but like you can frost the windows with a push of a button. Boom.
Yep.
Frost them all.
Gone.
So I'll be like, yeah, live wrestling time. I just frost them all.
Right at that point.
There's been times where I went out in the hallway and sent all the parents to the cars. You know, I'm like, go out, sit in the car and wait. Well, I'll send them out when they're done. You know,
I gotta bring Liam
the
up
live
there,
wrestling
dude.
thing is tough on them kids. You know.
Yeah.
I always say, like, the most important practice is already done. I almost make a point to do this.
Yeah.
When we're done drilling and we start the live wrestling.
Yeah.
I almost kind of go like, all right, time to wrestle your partner. Go.
Yep.
Like, make fucking light of it. Like, it's no fucking big deal. Like,
right.
I always tell my kid, I would go, dude, if I don't see you on your back and live during practice, the fuck are you trying?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? You pinned Jimmy 14 fucking times.
Yay.
Dude, let him put you in a cradle. See if you can get out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let him whip you over.
Yep.
You know, every kid in Wisconsin is going to try to whip you over when you're in the front head. Let him whip you over and work out of it.
Chin whips.
And kids don't. It's again that winning part. And I'm like, stop trying to win practice because you're losing by trying to win practice.
That's the thing. So, oh my God. Yeah. Good. And then we went through that forever with Liam because I mean, they know that they want to get better.
They're competitive.
Yeah.
They're their own worst critic, a lot of them.
They're already measuring themselves up to that one kid that they're wrestling. They're like, I can't get this. I just lost today. And I'm like, what do you mean you lost? Like, I've been trying to get this takedown, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, that's fucking practice, dude. That's what it's for, man. Like,
you'll get that takedown. Just keep practicing it.
Yeah, just calm down, dude. He's instant gratification like me. So that was a lot of these kids are.
The whole generation is.
Yeah, if they don't see it right away, then it's like, forget about it. I don't even want to do it anymore. And Liam, if he can't win a video game, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I kick him off.
No.
But if he doesn't win, like after 5 times, he's done. Why are we still playing this if we can't win it?
Yeah.
Are you what's wrong with you, dude?
Yeah.
I played Mario Brothers
constantly. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Right? But you know what I mean? Like, there's no fun.
Nah.
Come on, it's supposed to be fun, right?
It's supposed to be fun. Just rip it up a little bit. Like, try that one thing that you've been trying, you can't get it. This is where you do it. Because I always practiced. And I
always tell the kids, I'll say, there's no scoreboard on the wall. There ain't even a fucking ref in here. Dude, you can't even get pinned in here.
Right.
They can hold you on your back for 4 days. There ain't a fucking ref in here. You ain't pinned. I always yell at the little kids because they'll flip their buddy over and then they'll pin them.
Yeah, slap their hand.
Like, don't do that. I said, you can't do that. Nobody's getting pinned in here.
Oh, God.
You know, like, I was talking to a high school coach the other day. He's like, they went down. They had a tough duel with me. They wrestled a tough Minnesota team. And a couple of their guys got rolled up and pinned. And I said, I don't know, man. I said, I would do it. I said, how much? I said, play a game with them. I said, these kids love playing games. I said, put them all on their back. Call it turtle. I said, I think Askren does this. I'm like, your partner gets to pick whatever pinning hold he wants, and the only objective is to not get pinned.
Don't get pinned.
There's not a ref in here, so I'm going to start to blow the whistle, and you just got to fight like hell. You know what I mean? But like, how often do you do that, little kids? How often do you put them down there and make them fight? We do it almost once a week.
I don't remember seeing. I don't remember seeing it once when Liam was little. I don't remember seeing those kids on their backs trying to work off their back.
These little kids come in here, and that was like the first week we showed them how to bridge, and then we showed them how to bridge with somebody on you.
You already know they're going to be there.
Well, and I had like 4 or 5 kids crying.
Really?
Rough. It's rough.
It sucks.
This is actually a fight. When I ask all my kids when they get in here, the little kids, when I sit them all down the first time I get them in there, I line them up and I go, who likes to fight?
Yeah.
And all of them raise their hands. And then there's like 3 of them that don't. And I go, okay, go home.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. Let's beat it.
Or at least I'm partnering those 2 up.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? I'll let the wet noodle fight happen in the corner. No,
it makes for a good match.
But it's like they need the expectations set right away. Like this is it's going to be a fight, and you got to work hard if you're going to win the fight.
Right.
You know,
I agree.
If you're not moving, you're getting pummeled.
So when you started wrestling, you said you gravitated towards it, but so you said the success.
We loved boxing. We loved all of it.
Were you guys doing MMA stuff kind of back then too, kicking each other?
Well, there was no MMA, right? But like when we met the D'Elias, from down south, their dad was a Gold Gloves boxer.
Oh boy.
And they were all boxing as little kids a lot.
Yeah.
So then it was always like, well, I can whip your ass. Yeah, I can whip your ass. And then I'd be like, all right, fine. The one year they came up, they brought all their shit, all the gloves, and my dad and Mr. D'Elia took us up into the middle school wrestling room at Medford at that time.
Yeah.
And it was and they put the gloves on us and we just beat the shit out of each other, you know. And it was so bad. My dad would throw the boxing gloves, or my mom would throw the boxing gloves away. Yeah. And then the neighbor kid who lived up the road that talked my brother into wrestling. Yeah. When we were little, the neighbor kid, his dad was a garbage man. So he would pick up the garbage and then he'd take the gloves out and give them to my dad. And then we'd have the gloves back. But when we were little, for the long time, we had one pair of gloves. Oh, my God. So we only had one glove each. You had the garbage man involved. And then my older brother was a lefty. My older brother was a lefty. Yeah. So he could use the left glove, and then Josh and I would take turns using the right glove. Oh, my God. And then every once in a while, you'd see that guy pull his arm out from behind his back, and you knew you were going to get a bare-knuckled one. You guys are fucking crazy. You guys are crazy. That was growing up. That's how we grew up. And my dad and his buddies sit there and watch us and laugh at it. Oh, God. You guys. So my brother used to chase me with a 3-wheeler, but we didn't like punch the shit. Oh, yeah. You know? Oh, my brother ran my little brother over once with a 4-wheeler.
Yeah, sand dunes, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We would, and that was the best part because I never got to drive the 3-wheeler because I was 7 years younger. I always got
you
chased.
never got to do anything.
No, dude, I got chased on sand dunes. I was in shape.
Oh yeah.
But so what was your first memorable match then? What do you remember the most and like that sticks out in your brain? Which one sticks out the most?
As a little kid.
Yeah, little guy. Yep.
Probably like 1 year we went down to Northern Plains and it was in Waterloo, Iowa at the hockey arena.
Yeah.
And I wrestled, I believe I had Charlie Falk in one style or Charlie Falk in both styles, an Iowa kid.
Yeah.
That an Iowa kid that ended up wrestling for Apple Valley High School, and then he went back and wrestled for the Hawkeyes from my era. And he was super good, and everyone knew him, and everyone knew how good he was. And I actually had an opportunity to beat him, and it was like my first time like winning a big match out of state, you know.
Nice.
And then like I think a big part of our development was Fargo, going to Fargo our 8th grade year. We were cadets.
Okay. Oh.
And I made a bet with my dad. I was like, yo, if we All-American, can we get tattoos? And he was like, yeah, okay. He's like, I've been out there. Your brother's been there. Like,
yeah. Good luck,
okay,
bro.
Yeah. Yep. 100. You can tattoo your face, you know? And that's Scott Arneson, man. He had us so ready. Like, and then, you know, so it was like Scott Arneson, my brother Josh, and I were like an inseparable group of 3 at that age. And it was like, we just beat the snot out of each other. And that's Scott did a good job of always giving us more than we could handle, but not more than we could handle.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep. He saw where you guys were at.
You didn't get to beat Scott till you could beat Scott. You know what I mean? There was no, you know what I mean? There wasn't a whole lot of dialing it back.
No,
you know, like he went pretty hard, but he was always very positive. Like after he'd snap your face in the mat, he'd be like, "Hey, you can't move like this when I fake there because that's why I snapped you down." But and then he'd do it to you 4 or 5 more times, and then all of a sudden you'd figure it out. You know what I mean? But so he had us just ready, you know, and then it was
good Grayson Clark lessons.
And when it was Greco, we were Greco guys, you know. And back then, everybody wrestled every style.
Yeah,
like nobody.
There wasn't this
was
pickiness.
A specialist. Nobody. Like I remember Askren wrestled Greco the whole time, all the way up until I think his second year of cadets.
I'd pay to see that. I'd pay to see Askren wrestling Greco and see how that works.
It was good. He had good gut wrench. Yeah, we kept it pretty simple, man. 2-on-1s. Okay. Drag him to the floor and fucking gut wrench them all.
Let it rip, huh?
I could gut wrench anybody. All of them. Everybody I wrestled, I could gut wrench.
Even like the heavyweights? Could you get those guys?
Well, no, the guys in my
Come on now. You know? Come on.
I could gut Askren for sure. For sure.
How much was he?
This is a long-standing debate. It's a long-standing debate. He doesn't think I could. He thinks even if I had a lot, even if he gave me a good lock, I couldn't gut him. And I think for sure I could.
Yeah. And what's fun about him, though, is he'll stand behind the fact that you can't until you put a gut wrench on him and then turn him. And he'll be like, oh, okay, you got me that one time.
We talked about with the armbar. Yep. Like we talked about with the armbar. He's stubborn. You know, the whole scrambling, it's all built on being stubborn.
Yeah, not wanting to give up something.
The personality trait of not letting go of the far ankle and doing anything you can do to keep the far ankle, doing gymnastics, letting go of everything to do some gymnastics to get back to the far ankle. It's really about being stubborn.
Oh,
you know,
boy.
And you kind of also have to know the history. Like you have to know the creator. Like how do you know what's really going on here unless you fucking know? I know the guy who built it.
Right.
I was there for the whole fucking ride. I was there the whole time. I had a front row ticket.
That's right.
You know, I knew him when he was, you know, running boomboxes, running people down with boomboxes, playing Eye of the Tiger. And, you know, I remember one year he had that boombox on the bus to junior duels, playing rap music the whole time. Yeah. Finally, Colin Cudd said, I had enough of this shit, pulls out his jackknife and cuts the fucking speaker wires from the back of the...
That's awesome.
So he couldn't fucking play any of his music on his jukebox. We weren't even to frickin' Missouri yet. We were on the way to Enid.
Oh, my God.
And we just had a wild bunch, too, and we had a good bunch, man. We had some dogs in that age.
You had some tough dudes, man.
Cole Conrad, Chase Wettenkamp, Matt Pell, Ben and Max, me and my brother, the Turner brothers. I mean, like we had some freaking hammers. A lot of guys that wrestled, went on and wrestled Division I. Henning was super tough.
Mm-hmm. You guys are wrestling in an area when there was just good wrestlers around the country, though, too. Like, you guys had to be good.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yep.
There's a shit ton of wrestlers. I mean, it's because of the age we're at, though, too. You know, we're all 37, 40, but like all of all of those guys that you wrestled with are coaching a club or a college team, most of them, or a high school team.
Where was Ryan Taylor at with your in regards to? I don't remember, how old is he? He's younger.
He's way younger than me.
Yeah, he's younger than you guys.
Yeah, I think like 8 or 9 years younger,
something like that. Yeah. Does he? I mean, he's another guy that's got some decent kids coming up. But when you when you got into high school, where'd you go to high school? Lacrosse?
I went to Medford.
Okay,
so Medford was Division One.
Yep. Okay, I got a couple
one of the
friends
smaller
from there.
D1s.
The Berries.
But it was fun. It was high school was a blast.
Yeah.
I remember walking. So my sectional was pretty deep my freshman year.
Yep.
So Colin Cudd from River Falls and Luke Smith from Chippewa Falls.
Yep.
Luke Smith's still coaching college. Colin, I believe, is a software engineer and has a software engineering degree from Madison, and he wrestled 125 down there for all 4 years of his eligibility. So 2 really good wrestlers, guys that love the sport, went on and wrestled forever. But so Colin and Luke wrestled in the finals Colin's freshman year.
Okay.
And then the next year was my freshman year, and those guys were in my sectional, and only 2 went out of the sectional. So I'm thinking, shit, my little brother and my older brother are going to make it, and I'm not, But so I wrestled Colin the very first tournament my freshman year of high school in the finals, and he beat me like 18-4, just stopped me.
Yeah.
And my twin brother wrestled Willie Holtz. Duck undered him and then kept his wrist and coffee grindered him and pinned him in like a minute.
Yeah.
And we thought we were good. And my dad was like, welcome to high school wrestling.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So we did a lot of like mindset training. My dad was really big on that. Like power of positive thinking, like mental toughness.
Okay.
Like
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
I was kind of slow, right? And I always say like, hey man, I don't really believe that like true speed exists on a wrestling mat. Like you not need to be linearly fast. I don't need to race you and be faster than you to be faster than you out here.
Yeah.
But I just was not light on my feet, right?
Okay.
And so I started saying like, hey, at night before bed, I'd look in the mirror 20 times at night and say to myself, I have fast feet. I have fast feet. I have fast feet. I have fast feet.
Yep.
And all of a sudden I wrestled that same kid that made my life a living hell.
Yep.
The first month of high school wrestling, I get to wrestle him again at the sectional. And I wrestled him in the sectional final, and I beat him like 12-6.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I ended up winning, and then I lost to Luke Smith. But it was like I just got myself to a point mentally where like I knew I could beat him.
There's some truth in behind that guy sitting on Saturday Night Live looking in that mirror saying I'm good enough, smart enough, and doggone it,
people like me.
They like me. Yeah. I mean, you got to tell yourself some shit sometimes to get through stuff. So that's an interesting factor that you bring up that
if
your dad
you can't believe it,
about.
how's anybody else going to believe it?
No one. I mean, especially when you show the body language on a mat too. That's what drives me nuts.
Well,
that's a big one.
And that's like a lot of like our issues we have today in society is a lot of like self-love. People don't love themselves.
Yes, they look for it from everybody else.
How do you love anybody else if you can't love yourself?
Social media brought that on.
Your self-perception and taking care of yourself and and that's a big thing with the kids, with the wrestling, with the confidence. With these little kids, you got to build them up. And guess what? I'm not big on tournaments. If your kid's not you know what I mean? Like he doesn't need to do a bunch of tournaments because all of a sudden he starts to lose his self-worth. All of a sudden he or she feels like they're not good enough.
Sure.
And that's a slippery slope. And that's where you lose your athletes. You have to understand as a coach where each athlete's at. Every kid is different. That's 100% true. Okay. Yeah. But the parents have to also trust you and listen to you.
And that's the biggest problem. But so
they force their kid in these tournaments because they want to win. And it's like, dude.
Because mommy and daddy's name is on the registration with their last name, and they want to make sure that their kid wins something. Because otherwise,
or don't you love transitive property? These people think transitive property. You're standing there coaching a kid. And then this kid loses, and the coach kind of looks at you like, I'm like, bro, this isn't transit. That doesn't mean you beat me. This isn't transitive property. Like, put your shoes on.
Yeah,
let's go.
You weren't playing Nintendo with a remote, and I was against you.
Are you ready? Because I'm fucking ready. But it's like, it's not a transitive property.
Yeah,
like,
no,
I just think it's so funny. Like,
so when you
one thing I always tell is, I'm like, hey, man. The kids they'll come in and they'll want to I private lessons. Kids come in for private lessons.
Yep.
And I'm like, I kind of have a rule. It's like, bro, I better get some notification from you the day before your private lesson while we're working on, so I can have a lesson plan ready for you. Or send me some matches so I can build one for you. Yeah. And I have kids that'll show up with no plan, nothing, and I'm like, well, okay, so
what's going on?
What's going on today? What are we doing? Well, I don't know. I was thinking maybe, and I said, well, dude, listen, I was already really good at wrestling.
Yeah.
So this isn't my private lesson. This is your private lesson.
Oh,
like,
dude.
you have to take some ownership. And it's not about the 45 minutes we're here together, the hour we're spending together. It's about the time you spend around that hour planning and preparing for this opportunity.
The parents fail there, too. The parents know that the kids are coming in for a one-on-one. Now, the parents may not know wrestling, so they probably aren't privy to, unless you reach out to them and say, hey, make sure that Johnny's got this ready for us when we come in. But these parents don't think about that. I came from, I played high level soccer and stuff like that. Like I didn't, like you said, I was natural athletic. And if you look at me now, you wouldn't be able to tell, but I was just able to do things back then. But I was just telling my wife this the other night. I constantly had a ball. I always had a soccer ball with me. I was either kicking it against the curb. It didn't matter. But when I went to practice, I knew what I had to work on and I knew what I had to do, and I came in with a game plan in my brain just because that's the way that I was wired. Now, I wasn't necessarily taught that, but I saw guys on the sides when I was playing on national teams were just working on one thing because they were bad at it. And there's another guy over here where the kids come in and they're just like, oh, okay, I'm here. Like the parents are just kind of bringing them in because they think that you're going to do it for them. And that's the worst part is parents need their hands held too. So you had that mindset right away because the way your dad was, and he's kind of ahead of the game a little bit. So what?
Dude, he was.
What worked you when you had a loss as a younger guy, whether it's middle school or high school? What went through your head with losses? Were you pretty well trained by then, as far as what you've been doing, and had a good thought process? Like, okay, this loss isn't going to kill me. I'm just going to go to the room and kind of work on things. Or did they kill you?
No, I mean, it depended. Some losses had more value than others.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
Some wins had more value than losses. Yeah. And vice versa. Some losses had more value than wins. Right.
Okay.
And for my dad and us, it was all about how you competed.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. No shit. Everybody wants to win.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. I remember taking some hellacious ass chewings from my beautiful mom up in the stands in matches that I won.
Sure.
Like, you should have tech falled him.
Yeah.
Like, that kid had no business being out there with you for 3 periods. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that was a little bit of an embarrassment.
Your parents that knew what was going on, though.
High expectations.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And it was like, that was not good enough. Right. And there were times that I lost matches and fought like a dog.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to realize, like, it ain't about winning and losing, man. It's really about and it's more like a martial arts idea of honoring the opponent that wrestling doesn't for some reason accept. And I freaking hate that. It's like, hey, that's why we shake hands.
Yeah.
And if you beat a dirtbag, big freaking deal.
So what?
You want to beat a savage.
Yeah.
You know
right.
what I mean?
Exactly.
But you want to go to a tournament. Everybody wants to take their kid to a tournament where he could take first. Well, go let him wrestle some savages.
So,
like, what pond are you swimming in? I always love when kids think they're really good in the Midwest, and then you get them on the airplane, you take them out east, and they go like 1-6
fucking
on the weekend. It's like, hey, you're just swimming in the right pond for yourself over here right now. But you can get in the deep water and you can try to swim with the sharks. There's sharks out there.
Took Liam out to Journeyman Classic and he wrestled it. So they have 2 divisions, and he took 3rd in the lower division.
The awesome tournament. We've been there,
dude. And then 7th in the harder division.
Manheim.
Yeah. Yep. That's
at the Nook, Spooky Nook.
Yeah. Yep. That's Papalizio's tournament.
Yeah,
and
I've been there.
But and I told him, I said, now, because he invited him, he's like, hey, we got room at 160. You want to have him wrestle tomorrow? I was like, yeah, why not? But everybody's like, oh, you go out to Pennsylvania? That's tough out there. I was like, you have no fucking clue, dude. Like, it's a whole different world.
3rd is like unreal.
Yeah. So I told Liam, I was like, dude, and that's kind of where we've gotten to, is like you were describing, is telling a kid, hey, I saw you do this better here. You're not talking about, this match looked great, but hey, you tried that double leg here. That technique was really good on that,
Yeah.
Because I'm learning just as much as he is as we go along now, and I'm trying to take as much of that in, and I'm hopefully I can spread that to other parents, because I do see a lot of parents doing what I did. I did the same thing back when Liam was super little. I was that dude that was like, why aren't you winning? When you go hard, you win.
Right.
So are you not going hard? Like, he's fucking 8.
Get up!
Yeah.
Get up! Well, no shit. He's trying to get up.
Dumbass.
How about give him some technique?
Right. So that's kind of where I'm learning with him. but I get him on the off season. In season, you know, and if I could pay a coach to come with us to be able to do that stuff, I would, because I don't want to screw them up. You know, because these kids have built so much onto the backs of themselves as far as what they expect of themselves now. So
it's amazing how hard they are on themselves. It's amazing. I think back when I was a kid, and I don't think we gave a shit.
Not really. No.
I think half the reason we were good is because we didn't really give a shit. We were just out there to fight somebody, and then when that was done, we were like trying to play football in the corner with a pop bottle, and you know what I mean, and running under the bleachers and trying to find cute girls, and it was like. It wasn't like, I don't know, like, and the other thing about us too is like, we had like that Dave Schultz type of like, we were competitive and fierce on the mat, but off the mat time, like we were fun loving guys. We were fun. We were always pranking and messing around and, you know, asking with the boombox. Like that was kind of how we all were. That was like what we did. I remember going to like St. Vincent de Paul and buying weird shit in between rounds of tournaments to pester people with when we came back. You know, where do you think that chicken came from?
Oh man.
You know? The one year at Bi-State, the Bi-State story, you know, with the I Mean Business. Like we all went to the thrift store in between rounds and bought a suitcase and set them all up with duct tape. And it was like, my brother and I didn't even wrestle in that tournament. Our Christmas tournament was already done. We drove down just to help with the fucking antics. You know, like I'm the prop guy this weekend. So
what
happened?
happened?
And we were little kids. We'd go to tournaments and we would find like a tattoo dispenser. Like the kid tattoo dispenser things, you know, and then we'd fucking buy like 100 of them.
Put them on your face and
show up to the match covered in tattoos. Like, what is wrong with these guys? Dude, we were just trying to have as much fun as we could.
Yeah, no,
and it wasn't like there was no track wrestling. Nobody was sitting in their fucking hotel room looking at their bracket 3 days in advance and watching 40 hours of film on this kid from Tulsa before I meet him in Nebraska. And it was like, it was more of a street fight. Like you just show up and nobody warms up for a street fight. Like, let's go.
Would this wrestling world be lost if we took track wrestling away and we made people go back to paper brackets? When they show up, they gotta wait. With this,
I mean, I think in a lot of the things technology's done to make our life easier, it's made it more difficult.
It has, by far, hands down.
Well, just like hands down, like
coming up to the video game.
Think about when guys went to work for the whole day.
Yep.
And then you didn't talk to any one of your kids or your wife or anybody till you got home for supper.
All day. Yes. You didn't stop.
Yeah, and then it'd be like you'd have something to talk about at night.
Right.
Instead, you're leaving him little notes all day on your phone. Your wife's texting you, you're texting her. The girls are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody's texting everybody all day. And it's like you get home, you look at each other, and you're like, well, I know how everyone's day went.
Yeah.
Now
I'll be over here.
Yeah, like, now you what? Now you all just divide and
that's
sit
very
on your
true.
tablet again, like,
yeah,
you know, it's like let's shut that thing down. Like, I don't know. I think if this country's truly going to make it, we're going to have a renaissance of sorts
somewhere,
technologically wise.
Just a big, just
we're
a
gonna have
big
to go back to like, hey man, well, the cellular grid shuts down for 8 hours during the day.
Oh,
you're all
dude,
supposed to be
they'll
working.
fucking lose their minds. People will lose their ever loving minds.
You know, it's funny. Before I started a wrestling club, I was the guy where I would run into people and they'd be like, dude, you ever gonna fucking call me back? Hey, I texted you 3 times. I was like, I don't know, man, my phone's in the fucking drawer at home. I wasn't like a slave to anybody. I was barefoot and kayaking and riding a mountain bike. And
so that's where Ben got it from.
You start this business and it's like all of a sudden people need to know where the tournament is and when the weigh-ins are and all that. You know, and it's like, yo, I'm on my phone all the time. All the freaking time, man. Like, wow. And I'm actually planning a little trip with my wife. I've never been on a vacation in my life where I didn't have to make weight or somebody didn't make weight.
Shut up. Are you serious?
I'm gonna be 40.
God
my whole
damn,
life, man.
Wow.
Yeah, just a slave to
Get
the game
out.
because I love it. You know what I mean? So
go do something,
I'm thinking,
man.
like, would that be nice to just be gone for like 6 days, no kids, nobody else's kids?
Take that phone.
No cell phone. It'd be like the old days, man. It'd be like pre-25 years old.
How long are you going to be gone? We need to know this because people will be trying to get a hold of you. So we need this time frame to not contact you and not freak out.
It's a dead period for wrestling. I planned it accordingly.
Okay. Because you knew that
it's after a big event. Right after a big event, I'm taking off for a week, and then I'll be back a week before the next big event.
Okay, and then leave it. Don't tell anybody.
Won't affect our training cycle. We'll still have practices.
Yeah.
We'll still have strength training and stuff going on here.
Yeah. We'll keep it a secret though. Don't tell anybody. Don't even tell anybody at Crass. Just be like, yep, after a big event, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Right, you guys will find out when I'm not here and not answering my phone.
You'll know. Here's the thing at Crass is we have like in our building here, I have access. I have 24-hour live feed of my wrestling room.
Nice. Dude, that
so I can
facility
pull practices. And when I got a parent that says to me, well, he's not wrestling real good. I say, well, yeah, no shit. You should watch how hard he practices. Well, he works hard.
Does he?
Well, come on in. I'll clip some footage from last Thursday when you left the window and see how hard he worked when you left.
Oh, it's magical, isn't it?
Because when you're standing in the window, somebody's, watching him.
Yeah,
it's like when I turn and walk over here, he's not working as hard. And there's an eye in the sky up there. And I can, you know what I mean? And it's like, it makes it easy.
You can't run, baby.
And then liability-wise, too.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you in general, though? I mean,
oh man, I've had a couple fights, kids getting scrappy, and then it turns into a fight, and then I might bring them in the office. I say, okay, sit them down.
Here's a video.
Show them the fight. And I say, okay, here's the first thing: is both you need to go up to title box or savage boxing up here and get some goddamn lessons because you punched each other 3 times each and nobody got knocked out. So you both are fucking wimps. Number one. Number two, he started it because I could see him kick you here, but I noticed you tripped him in warm-ups way back here.
Jesus,
and so it's like, it just kind of bails you out.
Yeah, well, and I think because the first time we were in there was that Wisconsin Wrestling League when they did that during.
Wasn't
COVID.
That a cool idea,
dude? That was
setting
awesome.
that up during COVID.
That was cool.
So awesome.
And honestly, because you were talking about as far as like kids being crammed into tournaments and parents trying to get them in so many tournaments, that was the only time where we did as a family, like we crammed in a ton because we didn't know if it was going to get canceled at any point.
Right.
So if we found something, we went. Like I was like, here's another weekend, 5, 6, 7 weekends in a row. Liam loved it, but still, it was like. Maybe we did a little too much. It's a little too much, But we squeezed it in, but that Wisconsin Wrestling League was a savior for just the kids here because a lot of those kids don't travel, So, I mean, and then coming into your facility, like I looked at my wife, I was like, holy shit, this is huge, man. Like, this is nice. You got,
I think it's the way of the future.
3 separate rooms, right? That are walled off, have their own area, and then there's a workout area too then, right?
So our facility here is called the AT Elite Performance Center.
Okay.
And Crass trained Momentum Baseball Academy are kind of the original idea was that we outgrew our facility and we were going to build another wrestling facility. And then we thought, well, we're going to do a multi-sport.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And at first we thought we were going to do some retail with the space.
Yep.
And they're like, nah, we do another multi-sport. And this Momentum Baseball Academy in our town is very much geared like us.
Yeah.
They have professional athletes that train there. They're catering to the elite, the kids that want to go to the next level.
Okay. Yep.
And so we aligned with them and they were kind of one of the anchor tenants. And then we met with the guy that runs a basketball organization called Playmakers Basketball.
Okay.
And it's huge. They've got tons of athletes in their system. They're nationwide. So then we were like, dude, we could do more than just we could do a lot here. So then I was like, well, we should build a gym that has more than one basketball court. And then we could put volleyball courts sideways. So then we brought in a volleyball outfit. Yeah. So we've got 2 basketball courts, 3 volleyball courts. We've got the pitching and hitting has like 5 lanes set up on turf. Then Adam Thielen owns a strength training company out of Minneapolis called ETS.
That's right.
Three guys, Engelbert, Thielen, and Sternagel. Ryan Engelbert is out of Minneapolis, and he's kind of spearheading this. Mm-hmm. River Falls, actually, lives in River Falls, but I believe he went to Stout.
Okay.
And so they've got locations nationwide, too. So they're in our building, and they're a strength training company. And then we have a Marshfield Clinic, which is like a hospital. Yeah. And they have a rehab facility here.
Jesus.
So they have.
You guys are fucking around, man.
Athlete gets injured. It's a one-stop shop. Then we have like a Herbalife shake shop. Shake, nutrition, food, whatever, blah, 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 blah.
Jeez.
So, so the idea behind it is like my son's got a wrestling lesson and my daughters have volleyball practice. I need somewhere to sit and do my work.
It's right there.
Steve got hurt on the forklift at work last week, and he can do his occupational therapy appointment at Marshfield Clinic, and we can hit all these exits for you at one spot. Yeah, and
that's awesome.
Dude, it was nerve-wracking. We're sitting there in May of right as COVID hit, and we're looking at each other like, dude, are we gonna order all this steel from China right now? Yeah, are we gonna do this? And it was a large bill, and it was like, he hit proceed, and then the rest is history. And honestly, it was and he is my business partner, Tyler Tomish, a wrestling. He's a wrestling junkie. Okay, he's a Rice Lake guy. He's into banking down here in Altoona at CCF Bank. And
good to have those.
He's
guys.
A wrestling dude.
Good to have
he
those
loves
guys
wrestling.
Wrestling.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, and he's got some boys. that are going through right now. One of them's a senior, one of them's a sophomore, and I've kind of been involved with them their whole life. And he's kind of the guy that took me out of public and drove me to private school wrestling.
Oh, cool.
Running a private club.
Yeah.
I was coaching his sons in the Eau Claire area youth wrestling program after Eau Claire North High School practice.
Okay.
And it went from like 40 kids at the YMCA, and I just grew this club to just a juggernaut. All of a sudden we had like 160 kids signed up.
Wow.
2 years later, we were wrestling at the Northside High School one night, and then at Memorial High School another night to make it fair. And then it was like the janitors hated me because they had to roll the bleachers out. They had to roll out 3 mats because all these kids have like 2 to 4 parents, and it's wrestling, so they all wanted to come watch. It's like 160 kids plus all their parents. It was just a nightmare. And he saw that I had some potential, and and we didn't know each other much at the time. I knew him because he's older than me and wrestled in our regional and stuff.
Yeah.
But he took me to the next level. He was like, dude, you should do some private lessons with my son or some small group work with my son. And I was like, dude, I'd love to, but like, I'm in my internship. My wife is in her externship.
Yeah.
We're pregnant right now. Like, I just don't have any time. Like, the money would be great. I wasn't doing great financially, but I wasn't struggling.
Sure.
But so the extra money would have been awesome.
Still
and
decisions.
And then all of a sudden it was like a year, and he was like, dude, I'll take care of it. He's like, I'll buy some mats, and we found a place, and he completely set me up.
Nice.
And he's been a part of my business at Crass Trained ever since.
That's cool.
He's part owner, and he does all my he's my financial guy. He helps me make decisions that are going to be beneficial to the business and myself.
Yeah.
He's a great ambassador for the sport. He gives a lot of his time back to the local high school team.
Yeah.
He helps coach high school. He helps coach junior high. He helps with the youth.
Sure.
And his kids aren't in junior high or youth, and he still gives a ton of time and
That's
hours.
Awesome.
And that's what wrestling needs to survive, guys like that,
I totally agree. Totally agree.
So then we grew out of that facility, and then we had the basement facility, the blue room, we call it. And actually we still have that room across town. And then, 3-4 years ago, about 4 years ago now, we would kind of start looking at each other because he'd come down there and we'd be having practice. There'd be like 50, 60 kids in there. And we didn't have no fucking room, man. Not that much room.
Yeah,
And another thing too, like in a basement like that with, we didn't have it wasn't made for wrestling, right? There wasn't proper ventilation. There were no showers. It was like getting to build a building around your wrestling club for a multi-sport thing was like a dream come true. So it's like, all right, we're putting locker rooms in the wrestling room. No one else needs them, but we need to have them here because these guys need to shower.
Yeah, right. Period. Right. Do you guys have showers there?
We have men's and women's locker room with showers.
Holy shit.
So and then we have the full mat space, right?
Yeah.
And then the nice thing is I would like to hold some monster camps because we could do 4 mats in the gym, 2 mats in this wrestling room, and then 2 mats in the baseball room.
Yeah.
We could do an 8-mat camp and have just a pile of kids. I'd like to do, and I've reached out several times about this, but I don't know what it's going to take for that training site, that Fargo training camp to leave River Falls because they don't have the space. It's too small over there. We could do freaking 8 mats in this facility. Use this facility for the training site and house the kids in nice hotels here in Eau Claire. Yeah. And you're still super close to Fargo. You're talking about a 45 minutes difference from where they're being held. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's closer for people to get here, dropping their kids off.
Are they not
and then what I'd like to see them do is I'd like to see them do cadets, juniors, freestyle Greco all together.
Yeah. Are they not open to that? Like, are they just kind of stuck in the old kind of groove? Like we've been going here kind of thing?
The River Falls connection and the blacks, and there's just some old world politics still there. Where it's
I got it. Okay, and that happens a lot around here. It's kind of why we're a little still stuck in the dark ages with some of the stuff that we have. But I mean, what are you gonna do? As far as
what you're gonna do, you're gonna fucking change it.
Yeah, but how? Nobody wants to fucking do nothing.
You gotta have an opportunity.
Yeah, well, you have the opportunity. So you give the opportunity, right? And then it's not given. But after a while, like you said, I mean, you just got to you put your messages out there and wait. But you
just start having your own pre-Fargo training camp.
But nobody gets a choice in it. Who makes those choices?
Right.
Like I don't, as a parent.
That's what I don't understand.
I don't get to say, hey, let us vote on it. Because I drive my kid to that fucking place in the first place
and pay the $800 whatever the hell they charge.
So put it on a vote. I don't care. Put it on Facebook. Right. I don't give a shit where you put it. But let the parents kind of decide a little bit, just a tiny bit of it.
It's like no parent. You're the customer.
Right. And I'm willing to pay. I don't care about the fee, stuff like that. It's going towards something. But but just give me a tiny voice, just a little bit, It's besides in the corner screaming about something.
I guess it would be new. It's a brand new facility. It's built by wrestling people for wrestling.
Yeah.
It's right here. It's easy to get here. We've got the logistics taken care of. We've got the infrastructure with the hotels and the transport.
Yeah. Do it.
And it'd be a good idea to have the whole state here at one time versus here comes one batch, then they leave, and another batch comes in, and then they're only there for like a couple days or a day and a half. Some of them guys, and it's like,
come on, Cleaver,
get them all here for 1 week together.
Put it together, Cleaver. Come on, man.
Yeah,
get out of Crass. So what?
Here's the deal: is like we've got some real movers and shakers on that coaching staff. Now, you know what I mean? And it's like we got a lot of guys that have given a lot of time of their life to Wisconsin wrestling.
Yep.
Our whole lives,
Agreed.
And you got guys that left and didn't have to come back.
Yep.
And chose to come back.
Chose to.
Yeah. And you got guys in there that could be anywhere.
Yeah.
And they chose to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas Stelk could be coaching anywhere.
He could be,
He chooses to be in Wisconsin.
Here.
Coaching in Wisconsin.
Correct.
Right. And so, we got to listen. And, Ben could be anywhere. He chose to came back. Max could be anywhere. They chose to came back and invest here.
Yep.
So I think good things are ahead, But I think we got to get more. We need more teachers.
Oh.
That are wrestlers, man. We got no teachers that are wrestlers.
Yeah, I know. None.
It's so hard to find a guy in the school that's a wrestling guy.
You can't.
To advocate for your program.
And that's the thing.
Here's the one thing I always like. I was running a little intro to wrestling class at the local high school.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids come walking through and they're like, I didn't even know we had wrestling. And I'm like, really? I said, what do you play? He goes, I'm in basketball. I said, cool. You should come to this class for the next 3 days. It's free.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, why? And his coach comes out of his classroom, well, why? And I said, well, come on, coach.
Yeah.
Multi-sport athlete, right?
Yeah, you want to be better?
Don't we all be multi-sport athletes? Everybody wants to wave the multi-sport athlete flag until it comes to fucking wrestling.
Yeah.
Then it's like, I got a couple kids in my neighborhood where they're like, their dads are like, yeah, he's not a wrestler. He's a basketball player. Or he's not a wrestler. He's not. I said, has he ever tried wrestling?
No.
I said, just because you're fucking scared of wrestling doesn't mean he is.
Don't make your kid a pussy.
Well, you said it. I mean, that's my neighbor you're talking about. I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean? Like, we had a birthday party. We had like 14. So I told my poor wife, it was like 14 kids over.
Yeah.
For a sleepover. I said, they're all on a fucking wrestling team together. They wrestle year round together. How do we not invite one of the kids?
Right.
So they're all there. 65 pounds the heavyweight, all of them.
Yep. Dual team.
And I invited a couple of the neighbor kids, and she was worried about how they were going to, because it was like, we started at the club with some football.
Yeah, how they're going to fit inside.
And the one neighbor kid, he was here for like 5 minutes, kind of looked around after a while. His mom left. He took his shirt off. He got freaking fired up.
Oh, yeah.
He around the gym like a monster, like a maniac. And I'm like, dude, this kid is made for wrestling.
Yeah.
Put him in whatever sport you want, but he's made for wrestling.
He's made for here. Yep, keep him here.
I could see him like one time he said he said shit and he was like trying it on. He was trying to be tough.
Yeah.
He's a wild man. But yeah, I think every kid deserves an opportunity to be put in this environment just to see what they would do.
Yeah.
Right? Can they swim?
Fight or flight.
Right.
Fight or flight. Are they going to put up a fight or are they just going to be like, don't touch me, this hurts? But
well, I'm always like, dude, this is life skills, man. What if some dirtbag takes your wife's purse at Quick Trip?
Yeah, you're just going to stand there with your jaw wide open and you're going to go kick his ass.
You're going to dribble it back. You're going to have to fucking wrestle that guy. Down to the ground, take that purse back. It's a life skill.
You're going to
right?
You're going to 3-point throw that thing or are you going to
Yeah. Come on.
That's awesome.
Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So we talked a little bit about your club, but I do want to know more about your high school career. How was that?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was good. I was good.
Were you?
Guys,
you don't have to don't sugarcoat shit. If you're fucking good, you say you're good, and I like that. Good.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, good. I mean, I wrestled on Team USA in the Dapper Dan. It's now the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic. So I was ranked number 2. The only guy in front of me was Coleman Scott.
Watched it. Yep.
Olympic medalist, head coach at North Carolina.
Yeah.
Still a good friend of mine. We still talk. I see him often.
Nice.
Actually, Macy Kilty, a girl that trained down by me.
I interviewed her.
A lot of time down there in North Carolina with him and Tony Ramos. And actually, Tony Ramos has been up to the club 3 times in camps and been around here quite a bit. So it's kind of interesting that they all ended up together down in North Carolina.
Yeah, I took Liam down there. We went to Super 32 at Keaton, kind of gave him a little walk around when he was down there. And Liam had all his Iowa shit on, right?
Yeah, not smart.
Walks into Coleman Scott's office. He's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, right.
He's a kid, man. He's just a huge Ramos
Get him a
fan.
baby blue sweatshirt, Coleman.
Then all of a sudden he goes, of course he's here to see Ramos, of course.
Right. Rolling his eyes.
Yeah, exactly, right? And then even Ramos is like, just like, yeah, why you got that Iowa shit on? What's going on here?
Yeah, because at that time he was like...
Did not like him.
I feel like he's having a bit of a coming back to his roots, though.
I think so. Yeah, he's doing all right. And those guys are both really nice. They treated him pretty well. Yeah, awesome guys. Yeah. But so was your freshman year hard? Was that transition into high school hard for you?
It was a lot of fun. There was some learning. You know, I lost to Josh Miller from Arcadia, who ended up being a 4-time state champ my freshman year.
Okay.
I lost 5 times. I lost 5 times my freshman year.
Okay.
But I made it to the state tournament. Nice. I was 1 round away from placing. I got pinned by a senior from Kakana, Van Evenhoven, at 112. And
sorry.
No, I know.
Yeah.
It was one of those deals, dude, where it was like I was feeling sorry for myself. I was on the backside of the bracket.
Oh.
You know, I was just like, just mentally not mature enough to, you know, was I good enough to beat him? Probably, yeah, right. But just mentally, I wasn't ready. I wasn't checked in, and it kind of gave up.
Yeah,
I regret it. You know,
man. That should happen. But I mean, a lot of kids, it's a struggle. I mean, for 8th grade to freshman year, I mean, especially depending on what weight you're at. I mean, you little guys and stuff like that, you get time to kind of grow into things. You know.
Yeah. You know, the one thing was like all the 4-time state champ talk. All the 4-time state champ. Everybody's a subject to their consequences in their environment, right? I was super tough because I had a twin brother, right? I also was not a 4-time state champ because I had a twin brother. You know, my brother weighed about 98 pounds. I weighed about 105. We wrestled 103 and 112.
Damn.
My parents didn't let me cut down and wrestle him off. They also didn't let my older brother cut from 119 down to 12 and beat me out.
Oh, they had a 1, 2, 3
They
punch?
made us all stay where we were at so that the 3 of us could all wrestle. That's
cool.
And so my brother loses 3 times that freshman year.
Yeah.
He loses twice to Craig Henning from Chippewa Falls, once in the sectional finals, once in the state finals.
Yep.
And then he lost that match the very first term of the year to Willie Holtz that we talked about earlier.
Yep.
And those are his 3 losses his whole career.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, and then I lost them. I lost to Van Evenhoven. I lost to Luke Smith. I lost to Colin Cudd. I lost to Josh Miller. And then I lost to Josh Wagner.
Oh.
At state my freshman year.
Oh.
He beat me in the quarterfinals.
You guys, again, you're talking about coaching stuff. I mean, all these guys have.
We were good buddies too. Wagner was involved in a lot of those. Come up for 2 weeks and hang out for 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
Riding go-karts and 4-wheelers and stuff. Yeah. His dad worked for like Dr. Pepper, 7-Up. I remember every time Wagner came, there'd be like a case of Dr. Pepper there. Dude was the weirdest weight cutter. He just loved he'd live on like chips and salsa for like a week. I'm like, well, there ain't much there. You ain't eating much.
It's all air.
And Dr. Pepper. He loved Dr. Pepper.
Wow. I'm going to have to I'll buy him a case of Dr. Pepper for his birthday.
I did text Ben. I said, I might be revealing some stories about you boys this week on this podcast.
Good. That's what it's all
wild.
about.
Those guys were all wild, man. They were so fun.
Because you talk about the boombox. That's exact Mitchell Messenbrink. I was Mitchell is.
Yeah.
We were at the AWA duels a couple years ago, and he had his JBL walking around.
Yeah.
And I was sitting. It was like the 4-row bleachers, and I think I had Marisola on my right, and I had this older guy, just probably 75 behind me. Mitch just comes up with just loud rap music, J. Cole coming out or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Just bouncing on the mat, comes over by the bleachers by us, kind of turns it down like 4 clicks just to be kind of polite, you know? And then keeps it just a blare. Yeah, just to be polite. Keeps it blaring. And I was like, oh, that's kind of unique. Turns out that was Ben.
Yeah, it was.
That was Ben all the way through when he was young. I was like, man, this kid's unique. No, it sounds like he was just copying Ben.
Yeah, but dude, we trained hard at those get-togethers. I mean, when we would get together with those guys, I mean, it was like everybody was all business when the shoes got tied.
Yeah, for sure.
And I wish we would have filmed some of that or had some video of some of that, because it was just cool. Some of the guys that we had in those rooms that were tough that ended up being, I think of some of those weekend camps, and for what it's worth, I mean, you could do over a dozen high school state titles.
Oh,
in
easily.
The room at the time, probably 20, all in there competing together.
Yeah.
But we knew the iron sharpens iron thing. We just knew that, man. We knew if I was going to get tough, the only way I was going to get tough was having Wagner come up and beat me.
Did you guys ever like, besides the Team Wisconsin stuff, did you guys ever like go to tournaments together, like dual tournaments? You guys didn't kind of do that? Because the only thing I remember when I was young, before I really kind of get into like middle school, high school, my brother and his buddies, like 7 of them would all travel down to Iowa. We're talking 1990, 1991. All, like 4 or 5 of them would travel down to Iowa. That was the only like out of state tournament I ever knew of, was just this one in Iowa. I don't even remember which one it was, but did you guys ever have groups of guys like that? There was one in
Storm Lake, Iowa always.
Was there?
It was dubbed like a national championship.
Okay.
Like a 14 and under tournament.
That could have been it.
That might be it, because my one buddy always talks about that tournament down in Storm Lake. He actually won it one time.
Yeah, it's just, but it was once a year. Yeah, that was the only big one. Is like 5 or 6 guys. You didn't have a group of guys that kind of did that?
No, we traveled so we would go to these, so we'd set up these trainings around like the big USA wrestling events, right? Okay. So we'd set them up before Northern Plains, and then we'd set them up, and then we'd all go down to Central Juniors. And they used to hold Central Juniors in lacrosse at UWL. Yeah. So that was freaking awesome. Yeah. So we could go to UWL and wrestle Central Juniors. And so them guys would come up and train for a week, and then we'd drive down, and like we were old enough where like we'd drive ourselves down.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
our parents would meet us. Maybe they would come. Maybe wouldn't. Not. I remember my mom would send us with like a box of shirts, because she was working for a distributor, and she'd send us like with a box of shirts that were all like Wheaties shirts. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then we'd pass them out. And how did you know the guys that were training with us? Well, we had our own team. It was like all the guys running around with the Cheerios t-shirts on last week, they're now wearing Team Wheaties this week.
Team Cheerios.
Yeah, and then
Team
everybody
Wheaties.
got a free t-shirt, and it was like we always knew where the guys were, because there's the orange shirt. There's the orange shirt. Yeah. There's the yellow shirt. And and that was always a fun time of year, because it was like you're not looking at these guys like competitors now. They're on your team. Yeah. And it was like everybody was at a different weight, and you're going to Central Juniors, but like you're all cheering for each other, you're all coaching each other, you all drove there together, hanging out in between rounds, hanging out at night. Yeah. That was fun. That was so much fun. So that's how I spent my childhood.
I feel like you guys were like the end of that type of era that I spoke of before, as far as I guess we're just kind of the toughness and like we didn't have anything else kind of thing. I think you guys are kind of the end of that. So you emulated still the stuff that I remember as a kid, and now has disappeared. I mean, it's almost that type of, and I shouldn't say disappeared. I can't take away from the people that do, the few that still do kind of do it, but it's that camaraderie that had to be built, because you didn't have anything else. You had to go here, and you probably built relationships.
What we've done is we've made it so that you don't have to build it. You come buy a membership by us, and it's here. This is where it exists. Correct. We built it.
That's what we've been missing. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right.
And now you guys have brought that all the way back around now from what you built.
It's the same dudes.
Yep.
It's the same dudes, right? Yep. Yeah. And that's what I think is so neat. You go to these tournaments, and the fans in the stands might see us get excited, right? And think, man, they fucking hate each other. No. We don't. No. We all love each other. No. We're all in it together. We've all been in it together for so long. Yeah. Nobody hates anybody. I mean, there's some competition and stuff, but it's like we are all here for the kids' best interest. Yeah. And I always think it's funny when people, all the kids from this team are going to that team. And it's like, dude, how about get some kids from the fucking basketball team?
Yeah, how about that?
Good coach. Yeah, like, try and steal wrestlers from other clubs. Like, how about recruit a kid off the street and make him a champion, right?
Do that.
I always say, give me a 7th grader that's been nowhere.
Yes.
Don't give me a 7th grader that's been to 5 different clubs. Yeah. Like, how the fuck do I make an impact on that kid? Like, okay. Like, I don't know.
Correct.
The other thing I always say, like, most important guy in the room, littlest guy in there.
Littlest guy in there.
Dude, I could have this dude for 12 years.
Yeah. Well, and that's the best part.
I could really make an impact on this kid.
Is watching that.
That kid shows up as a junior. I almost tell the parents, like, bro, it takes like a year to catch on to this whole thing. The way we wrestle, the style, the intensity, the way that we compete, the way that we practice, the way that we train, the way that we cross-train. It takes like a year. So you come in as a junior, you never been here. It's like,
I think a lot of people get muscle memory screwed up with like what's in your arms. I mean, that's up here. Your brain is a muscle, man. I mean, unless you've, like you said, the 10,000 reps, unless you've gone through and done it. I mean, you're not going to get unless you. And plus, if you've gone and been ingrained in something else, like you said, it's hard to untrain that. It's hard to remove bad habits. And if you have to remove bad habits, you're talking a year for someone new. You're talking 2 or 3 years of someone with bad habits.
Oh my gosh.
So it's all because of that muscle memory. Yeah. So how many,
and that's where I've never prided myself on having really tough youth kids.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Because you
They're
can
not done.
coach. There are certain techniques you can show youth kids that will just murder until they're hit puberty.
Yep.
Right? But then all of a sudden they hit puberty and the kid's too strong to whip them over. The kid's too strong to neck wrench them. The kid's too strong for this and that. There's a few certain ones that like you can do them, but they have to be done a certain way.
Yep.
Right? And you're watching kids use poor technique and just muscling through stuff, and grunting through it. And it's like, that's going to catch up with you. And then you're going to be in a big, big situation and all the lights are going to be off and you're just going to be running on the myelin in your nervous system and you're going to hit that move and that guy's going to pick you up and put a half in and pin your ass.
Yep.
And it's all because all of that poor technique where it's like, listen, I'd rather teach my kid how to do a head in the hole and run behind him than to whip him over.
Yeah. Because
kids don't get whipped over in college, but they do get ran behind all the time.
All the time.
Like the highest percentage of scores in high-level wrestling is go behind.
So,
right?
Yep. And to the credit of that, where you see a lot of these little kids when they're wrestling, you see that fancy shit. You see all that crazy moves, the stuff they saw on NCAAs or on Flow. But then as you go to the wrestling duels, you don't see that shit. It's right back to basics. It's single legs. It's double legs. It's literally halves and stepping through and all that other stuff. Right. You don't see that fancy middle school shit anymore that you saw some kid trying out. It's fun to watch. And you get a couple guys that are able to do it in high school, but you don't see the numbers like you do when they're younger.
They're unicorns.
Yeah, correct. Because it just doesn't work.
Between.
And getting out from the bottom, that's magical right now.
Right. But too, like what it's about, it's a lot about like the reffing. Like, why are they so good out east on top and bottom?
Very true.
They let them wrestle top and bottom.
Yes.
In the Midwest and out in California, like the ref, they'll nail you for stalling up, right? And then you're like, what the fuck am I doing up here? Why would I ride him? I'm just I already took him down.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let him go and take him down again.
Cut him, yeah.
So we're really good on our feet, but we struggle on the mat, and it's not just it's a product of the reffing as well.
I agree.
Right? Like quit calling stalling on top. He's supposed to get off the bottom.
Correct. But now we get into leg riding. Leg riding's a problem because kids don't know how to do it. So now they're kind of sitting there lost because they don't have the correct technique, and they're maybe trying to do something, but they look like they're literally just sitting there. Maybe just making their hands busy because they just don't have the proper technique on it, and you can tell on a lot of the guys.
Well, and it's like we're trying to make wrestling so entertaining.
Yes.
To build our fan base that we're kind of getting away from what is it really about.
Yep. We're losing.
The primary objective of wrestling is to display control of some other person.
Dominate. Yep.
So if I start on top of you, I have control.
Yep.
That's assumed, right?
Right.
I'm doing my job.
Yep. Now do yours.
I'm controlling you. Primary objective of wrestling. Me to dominate you. Show control over you. I'm doing that. Your job is to get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
If you can't get out, that's not my problem. I'm doing my job.
That's right.
You're right. So it's like you got to get out the bottom.
I agree.
Dude. I'm not worried about the top guy.
Yeah. That's that kind of,
be honest, whatever happened to going after the pin.
It's going to make your job a lot harder in the future, too, if you're not trying to get the hell out of the bottom. If you're just waiting for a ref to make a stall call or something like that, I mean, don't put your head down. Get your hips out. Just get the fuck out.
The other thing, too, is the mentality of, like, the training.
Yep.
You can drill moves on the bottom all day long. But they have to be under duress.
Sure. Yeah.
The partner needs to be challenging you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can drill them. You should drill them kind of clean and neat and kind of naked. I would say naked and feel with like somebody on you, but not like on you, right?
Yep.
But like, hey, man, if you're ever going to really quad pod and get away from that guy's chop, he's going to have to be trying to chop you hard.
Agreed.
Or
totally.
It's not going to work. He's going to have to leg ride you hard, right? And I have times where I have good kids and we just break them. They're crying.
They get pissed.
Dude's leg rode him for 30 minutes.
Yes.
Guess what we're not doing? I ain't fucking letting you up. Nope. You got to get up. You got to earn it and break now.
I love that.
Don't break on Saturday afternoon. Break on Thursday night. Break 5 times in July so you don't in March.
Are you the type of guy that makes because a kid's struggling it, you make him do it over and over and over and over and over and over until he gets it?
Well, I don't like guys to play in the practice room their sharpest sword, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
you.
You should be doing the stuff you suck at. You should be doing the stuff you suck at.
So
and like I do a lot of simple math for these guys.
Yep.
Like like the idea of coming in and doing 6 techniques of practice is a very American, very ADHD driven.
Yeah.
Like, are we looking to just keep them busy, or are we looking for concept mastery here? What are we looking for?
Babysitter.
Are you bored?
Yeah.
Or are they doing it right?
Yeah.
Because there's a difference.
I understand.
Right?
Yeah.
And they have to do it right. It's like math, like we said before, right? 2 plus 2 will never equal 6.
Nope.
No matter how fast you say it, no matter how many fucking times you say it, it'll never equal 6.
Nope.
So you can do it really fast and be wrong a bunch of times. You're just dumb. You're dumb. Now you made yourself dumb. You did that to yourself. Because you're in such a hurry to do it. Wrong, right? So I'm like, slow down. Take a more European approach. Like, let's just master this. And then we can move on. But if I'm looking around the room and guys aren't mastering it, like, dude, we don't do like a 1,000 techniques a night.
Right. And my epiphanies is like coaching / parenting kind of grew from a lot of that knowledge and that information not knowing. So like you looked at a lot of those kids over there, they had a choice. You know, they let them do gymnastics and they let them do freestyle, right. You know, soccer, stuff like that. So they let them choose. And then like you said about the whole one sport thing, well, then eventually they're 12, 13, 14. They're only doing one sport. You know, that's
a lot of them. Yeah.
All they're doing. But they were not doing 5,000 competitions. They did not stress doing this stuff. It's kind of like we were talking about before. And those guys stress training because now listening to when Liam went to Estonia and how those guys were coaching over there, completely different. And Maju was still even wide-eyed kind of learning things too, going over there and listening to those guys. But just the amount of time and energy that they put into the training aspect to get technique correct is it beats us hands down. Like hands down. And we're watching it. And we don't do it.
Well, that's like our greatest, wrestling teachers and some of our greatest, like Dave. Like Dave, I think Dave did like 25 or 30 trips to Russia.
Yeah.
Dave Schultz.
Like that, yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? He was gonna learn from the best.
Yes.
No matter what.
Correct.
And he learned Russian so he could listen to what they were saying.
Yep. So
it wasn't so much to talk, but it was to listen.
Correct.
Correct.
And smart, man.
Yeah, but you have to study.
Mm-hmm.
You have to study, right? And that's where it's like wrestling has evolved so much in the last 20 years because we get to do our job like this. I don't have to be a plumber all day.
Yeah.
And then come for my plumbing job and try to make it quick to practice and then think on the 5-minute ride to practice, the fuck are we doing tonight?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
No, man, I sat around today and I wrote lesson plans and I watched high-level wrestling and I watched technique and I, you know what I mean? Maybe I posted a video for my followers to watch a little setup. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm writing a private lesson plan, but now coaches have an opportunity to be full-time coaches. We have an opportunity to do the best job possible for your athlete.
Do you think that there will ever come a time that high schools and clubs come together and work together as far as, hey, coach, can you come in here and work with the guys?
Yeah, we're very much like that around here.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll go into any high school room that invites me in.
Okay. Do you get a lot of invites?
I love the high school programs. We want them to be good. We want them to be successful.
Right.
We don't want somebody. I always say that this is never an in place of.
Mm-hmm.
This is an on top of.
Correct.
This is never an in place of. This is on top of.
Yep.
You can't have 2 jobs if you can't do the first one right. You got to do your first job, and then you got to do your second job.
I would like to,
and I think coaches understand that about us. I think in the beginning it was tough.
Yeah.
And you have parents that maybe don't go about it the right way, and they'll tell their kid like, "Hey, don't go so hard at your high school practice. You can go hard at this practice." And it's like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, totally.
But that's not coming from us. That's not coming from club coaches. I think most club coaches want to have a great relationship with the high school coaches. Because you are my customer. They're
trying to build a program too, and they're trying to put something behind them. So for them to be like, oh yeah, they go to Crass train and they do this, that, and the other thing. Well, then maybe that kid doesn't come there, to school. Right. Maybe he just only goes to club. And that's the weird fear. That's an odd, strange fear.
You're seeing that. You're seeing it start out east. It all starts out east, and then it heads this way. The multi 8th grade year has now become the multi 6th grade year because the kids in Minnesota are doing it because they go to high school in 7th grade.
Yeah.
Right. So it used to be hold your kid back in 8th grade 3 years, the Ohio red shirt, you know what I mean? And now, it used to be a Pennsylvania thing, and they made its way to Ohio, and now it's in Minnesota, and you got guys red shirting their 6th grader for 3 years. Yeah. You got high school freshmen that are 16 years old. That weigh 95 pounds.
This is so stupid. And I've explained it, and I know that a lot of it.
The whole private school thing, like sending your kid away to a private school.
Yeah.
Like I know people that do it, right?
Yep.
And I'm not willing to give up those very instrumental years in my child's life.
Okay.
Like I want to be around them.
I feared that. We looked into that.
You know what I mean? I don't want them to be at the McDonough school in Maryland for the next 5 years as they turn into a man.
Yeah.
And go through puberty, and I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
I want to be involved. And I'm not saying if you send them there,
right,
there's anything wrong with you. You're doing something for your kid that a lot of people can't do.
But there's a sacrifice.
A lot of people wouldn't do. It's a financial sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
But to me, it's like time is money.
Yeah.
Those things are synonymous.
I literally didn't ask for a raise this time around. I asked for more vacation, dude.
Right. They're the same thing, right? Yeah, I just want more time off, right? Or I want more time with my family, or I want, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I
think what you guys have built out there, and especially like I said, that facility is fucking phenomenal. But you have a mentality that, in just coming from, Liam's been to, I think, 2 clubs. He still goes to 2 of them now, but he had 3. But it was at the same time because he enjoyed each coach. He took a little piece from each place. And now it's kind of narrowed down because you got to simplify things a little bit. It doesn't need to be quite as chaotic. But you guys have built something out there that is, unique. I mean, the mentality that you have is a little different from some of the coaches that are here, which makes, which is always good. You got to have a different mix. And, you go in by Josh, and Josh might just have a little bit of a different style as far as how he runs practice. But then, maybe Liam will go with Robert Lee for a night, and that's grind, because he knows that when he goes by Robert, he can beat the shit out of him. Yeah. So it makes really an intensity thing. And it's not even so much a technique kind of thing, but I think it makes a kid coachable.
Personality.
It makes a kid coachable when you put him in front of a couple different people, because then he understands that you have to be able to listen and understand what's being told to you on the mat as well as having that muscle memory, because your coach is just seeing 100%. Things that you're not. So we did that with him, but you guys are unique. Like where you're just out there, like you said, you're not out there posting all this stuff about kids doing whatever. If you're proud of something that they did, sure, you'll put it out there, but you're not. You're taking pride within the room itself, and that
I feel like it's the only way to do it is to push process and not be flamboyant about outcome.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
And everybody that wins a state title gets their picture on the wall.
Nice. Just like the high schools do.
Only a high school state title.
Yeah.
And that's for a reason.
Yeah. Because that's the pinnacle for 95% of these kids. That's what I'm
coaching. I don't coach college kids.
Right. That for 95% of those kids, that's what
12 wrestling coach, 12th grade and below. And when my guys go to college, they'll check back in on the summer. And they'll stop in and we'll work out and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm training your athlete to win a high school state title, win a high school national title, be the best high school wrestler they can be, to give them the opportunity to wrestle in college, if they should want to, right?
Yep.
And that's really the big goal. I want your kid to be his high school wrestling coach or his local youth wrestling coach when he has kids, to keep this thing going. Like, you have to make an impact on these guys where they're going to love it. And they're going to look back and think about you and think, well, shit, I better coach my club when my kid's in it, because you know what I mean? I had a good coach. Well, my coaching is like Scott Arneson. That's who I came from. That's him and my dad.
It works for you.
It's just a mix.
It's just like parenting. When you see positive results, or you see a result from something that you grew up with that you thought, that's the result I want out of that. Well, you take it.
Right.
I mean, that's just what you do with it. And number one, you're gravitated towards that as well. So it's something that you're like, yes, this works. I really enjoyed that, so you take it with you, and you guys have built that out there, and I think it's fucking awesome. Number one, I like the fact, and I brought this up on almost every episode, you guys have been through college wrestling. You've been through high level college wrestling. You weren't just going out and I'm not trying to put down any other college or anything like that, but
Division I, Big Ten.
You're Division I, Big Ten. There's a fucking difference. You know what I'm saying? So having a lot of these guys, whether they're NAIA, but coming back to the state now, like you said, you guys could have stayed anywhere. You brought it back here, and you can tell the results are starting to prove themselves when we start going.
You can see it,
dude. I mean, with the fact that we're starting to keep up with Illinois and stuff and freestyle, and Minnesota with Greco. I mean, we're starting to make up some steps here, and it's because of guys like you that have put the time in, that put the work, that have the knowledge on top of that. Because you can go, I could go into a wrestling room all day as a fat, just old dude and start teaching double legs and single legs that I saw off of YouTube. Right. But you guys know where to put your hand on a hair on a leg, that kind of thing. And that's the important thing that we haven't had around. I learned in Lourdes' basement with the Zemkes, back in the day when there was nothing. Yep. So it's
awesome.
It's great. Dude, his dad, JR, used to kick the shit out of me.
Wrestling tradition name right there, power name.
Oh, my God. He used to get slammed so much by JR. But that was a good time in wrestling. It was the old school style. And now coming into what you guys kind of grew up in and bringing in the newer style,
Do you think that this sport could evolve any more than it already has?
Oh yeah, it's going to. And it goes in circles.
Is that technique though?
Circles.
What kind of evolution?
Yeah, circle.
Do you think?
That's what I mean. Technically, it goes in circles, right?
Okay.
And the fact that I can see what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
Right. It goes in circles, and then I can figure things out. Right. And it's like, that's why I say, like, we're so dangerous as coaches now because we have the opportunity to spend the time to constantly be learning and constantly be evolving and constantly be like, man, I don't do anything the same that I did in high school, like anything. Right. And it's like, and I look at things and I'm like, God, why did I do it like that? Well, that's kind of how I knew it. That's how we were taught it. Right. And I'm starting to reverse engineer these things and like, hey, why is this happening? And why is this not happening? Mm-hmm. What should I do here? And I'm going to bring a kid in and we're going to spend an hour on this today, just me and him.
Yeah. Did you
working on it?
Did you analyze yourself that way when you were like high schoolers, kind of college area?
My dad was a big film guy. We watched a lot of tape.
God damn. Where did your dad get all this fucking knowledge, man? Like he just kind of knew. He was doing mental mindset before there was mental
Honestly,
mindset.
He was just honestly, he was just ahead of the curve. Yeah. And he read a lot. Okay. And he was
he's learning.
And he was a big war historian. He
loved
loved reading war books. He loved reading about,
that'd be the best
so my dad would make some references, like I don't know how well this
is like the battle at the Berg, man.
Well, shit like, hey, I don't think I can get this last pound off, and he'd be like, I don't know, man, read a book about the Holocaust. I think you could probably get that last fucking, the Vietnam War. Read a book about the Vietnam War. They made a bunch of Indians walk from fucking Florida to Oklahoma. I think you can make it.
Okay, so Dad, you're saying rice and beans. That's what will get there.
Yeah,
right?
But it was just like, no excuses. Don't give me excuses. I'll cite some historic event that'll show you that people are tough enough and you are tough enough and you can do this. You can do it. Yeah. And it was all in your head. And it was a lot of...
that's an advantage.
Yeah, he was awesome. Shit. He still is. Obviously, he's alive. He's still awesome. Yeah. I mean, but man, it's just like he was ahead of the time, and I think that drove us to made us a different type. Drove us to a different level a little bit.
What year was your first state title?
2002, 2003, 2004.
Okay, 2003. Nice.
Yeah, 40. They're all right here. 41-0, 46-0, and 54-0.
Oh shit. Nice.
It was fun. Yeah, it was a fun 3 years,
What did that was that first one pretty sweet? Was that that weight off the shoulders, man?
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did it feel like the next year was going to be as hard?
Too, and Cud was tough. Cud was hard to beat.
Yeah. Did you think like
it was a 5-pointer?
Did you kind of know in your head, because like right now, and people are gonna super think that I'm super cocky right now about Liam, but with the way that he's going, like I have no expectations this year. This year is this year. It's his freshman year. I'm not going in.
Right.
But he's doing all right. I'm kind of thinking about it and just thinking about guys that have wrestled in the past, like you saw their record and kind of how they went. Like if a guy didn't get it his freshman year, the next year he got it because he was just on that path. Right. And that's kind of what I told Liam. I was like, hey, you keep putting the work in like you are. I was like, don't worry about this year, man. Just go and wrestle. Right. You're doing, you're a freshman, 160. I said, just worry about next year. But I think I'm just being dad. But I think if whatever he does this year is great, but next year I don't think there's going to be anybody stopping him because of the growth and because of the coaching and because of the mentality.
Well, and that's where it's like you get into a Levi Haynes like situation, right?
Right.
Where it's like, okay, all of a sudden he's going to be a senior and does a third Wisconsin State title or fourth Wisconsin State title.
Yeah.
And we started just as kids. And our club began being recruited, we started asking coaches, give me the platform.
Sure.
Give me what does it look like? Is it Super 32? Is it UWWs? Is it NHSCA?
Yes.
Is it give me and the Wisconsin State title is not on the list.
It's not.
Sorry.
It's not. It just isn't.
It's not.
It's so
I know guys that have won 4 of them and made like 6 months at a university.
And that's why
I know guys that have won none of them and been an NCAA All-American.
Yep.
It's not the end all be all. So if you're there, great. If you're not, don't worry.
Yeah.
And I always say like these guys that wrestle forever and maybe don't have a lot of success when they're young and guys, it's coming. You're building. It's not like you're not building. It's coming.
Right.
It's are you willing to stay in the fire long enough to reap the reward?
Yeah. I mean, the human
and the
body,
guys that can make it, they end up tough.
Big time. Well, I mean, here's a big one that I like to look at. Obviously, Barnett did well in the state. He was a great wrestler in the state, but he came freshman year. It was tough, man. It was hard. Like I kind of heard some stories like they're like
college, you mean?
Yeah, when he got up with the Badgers, some guys are kind of like, I don't know if he's gonna make it or not.
It's a whole different deal.
And I was like, yeah, but it's Barnett.
People have no idea. How hard
at all
it is to wrestle at
and
that
I
level.
don't because I
be
quit.
on the team. and we take things like for granted, like how good Ben was. People take that for granted,
right?
Like, dude, like that's a fucking national treasure. Like, come on.
There's natural ability.
NCAA titles, two NCAA titles, and
Hodge
two,
trophy,
Hodges, and makes it look freaking easy.
Yeah,
rolling dudes up like. Man, but he was scrambling before anybody else. He was way ahead of the game. He created something that nobody had a chance to reverse engineer.
Herbert was
because
monster.
The tools weren't out there to do it.
And he almost
my gosh. I'm looking at Herbert and I'm looking at Ben and I'm thinking, oh, Ben.
Lost Askren.
And he just pounds him.
He almost teched him.
Pounds him.
It's like Jesus.
And because mentally, too, the Ali, mentally, he was just an Ali guy. And he just knew mentally, Chuck was like my dad in the fact that he was the same way with like the mental tough and pushing the alley and being stubborn and being tough. And our dads all really got along well.
And that's, again, it breaks down to parenting. Dude, like some of these parents just don't get it. They're in it for a trophy.
They were on the same level. They were on the same wavelength. The D'Elia's dads, the Azarian's dads, the Wagner dad. They just knew what it needed to take to be successful.
So I sit down here in our little studio down here, and I look at all these fucking trophies and all these medals. Guess which ones he doesn't look at? These. All these little ones. You know, he's got the Journeyman Classic upstairs. He's got his high school tournament ones that he's won so far upstairs. All these, I can't probably 40.
You know where they're gonna end up? In a box.
In a fucking box in the attic. It's going to be in a memory box that mom's going to put together.
I took my kids back to my grandma's house maybe like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
November or something. To see my grandma back home in Medford. And my aunt lives in the house that my great aunt, my grandma's sister lives in the house I grew up in. It's right next door to my grandparents.
Yeah.
And so we go over and we visit. And my grandma says, Jesus, can one of you get up there and get them boxes, all them goddamn trophies out of the attic? There's like 4 dozen boxes of trophies and medals and all this shit. The attic's completely full. So I said, yeah, I'll get to that one day. But it's like, I mean, that's where it all ends up. Right. And what you're really doing it for is all in here.
That's it. It's for you.
The memories you make. You don't need the medal. You don't need the chart. It makes them feel great at the time.
No.
It keeps them in it maybe at the time when they have a rough weekend.
Yep.
The medal ain't for the guy who takes first. It's for the guy who takes last.
It really is.
He's the fucking guy that needs it.
He needs it to go to the next one,
the guy that pounded everybody don't need a trophy. They're doing it the wrong way. He should get a little ribbon. Give that loser a trophy.
Can we bring back because I wanna start another tournament and I think first place will get a medal, second place and third place, then the rest of them get a pink ribbon. All of them.
There you go.
Fourth place and below gets a pink ribbon. Yep. Come back and try next year.
Or like something that's broken, like a squirt gun that don't work. Here, figure it out.
That's fucking awesome. I didn't even think of that. Now I'm going to do it. Now I'm going to bronze like a broken squirt gun and give it to him.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what was because you were good. I mean, you guys, you had a family that liked to kick ass. You had brothers.
I won Fargo. Like I was a Fargo champ.
How was your recruiting process, man? I mean, I've talked to a lot of people all so far that are just like,
quick. We were too quick. We were too easy. I was too easy. First guy that asked me to the dance, I was like, let's go.
Was that Wisconsin? You know? That was just done deal.
My older brother was there. We wanted to be Badgers.
It made sense.
Man, we should have went on some visits. Man. I could have went on anything. So the first day they could talk to you in July, Barry Davis and Corey Wallman had breakfast at my house like 7:00 in the morning in Medford. And then they drive from my house to Chippewa Falls and get Craig Henning to commit. And then Seth Garvin from Alabama had already been committed. And we had the number 1 recruiting class in the country when I came into Madison.
Okay. Yep.
So it was a highly touted class. Zach Tonelli, who's coach out at Columbia now, was a couple-time All-American, was in that class. Kyle Massey, heavyweight from Champlin, Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Who's assistant coach out at Columbia now. He's at Tennessee Chattanooga. He was there. So yeah, I mean, we had a really tough class come in. Dallas Herbst from Winneconne, guy from that area.
Yeah,
he was in that class. He was a fucking hammer.
Yep.
Wow. Mike Felling was a Greco All-American. My brother was an All-American.
Yeah.
We had an awesome class come in. So those guys came up, had breakfast. We kind of knew what was brewing with the class, and they were kind of put the pressure on us, like, hey man, we need you guys to lead the class and kind of be the first guys to jump on the bandwagon. And we did, and then Henning did. But like they left, and Jay Rob called like probably an hour after that, probably 10 o'clock that morning. Jay Robinson called, and I had to tell him that we verbally committed already. John Smith called that day. We just several high-profile coaches called throughout the day. Wow. And because at that time my brother was ranked like number 3. I was ranked like number 2 at our weight classes at 119 and 125
in the country.
Damn,
you guys are killing it. Okay.
Yeah. My brother that summer. My brother beat Troy Nickerson, Coleman Scott, and
all right,
one of the Grajaleses, all in Enid and or Dylan Ness.
Oh shit!
He beat Dylan Ness, Troy Nickerson, and Coleman Scott, all at freestyle junior duels.
Wow!
And back then, we were second year cadets. We weren't even juniors yet.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Wow!
And so then that summer, everybody was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, what the fuck are these guys?
We got ranked pretty high. Yeah. Yep. I beat Angel Escobedo at Essential Regionals.
Yep.
And that kind of put me on the map in freestyle. And then we were always good in Greco. I mean, we never went to Fargo and didn't place.
Yeah. Did you guys think that you were gonna like Greco more than freestyle? We always kind of talk about that with guys too.
Yeah, because of my club coach.
Oh, okay, sure.
Arnie was a Greco dude.
Yep. Okay.
And we had a guy from our club that had pretty good success, made a world team.
Okay.
Luke Smith was a Greco guy, was a good Greco guy, lived close to us, did a lot of training with us.
Right.
And I like Greco because it was just like it was like playing a different sport.
Very true. It is.
For me.
It's a whole fucking different ball game.
And I think it takes your hand fighting to a higher level. I always laugh how people are like, "Whoa, Greco's gonna die," and all these American people, "Oh, Greco." I said, "Fucking the whole world watches soccer."
Yeah, right.
Fucking Greco's not boring. Soccer's, no offense, man, soccer's fucking boring. The whole world watches soccer. You think Greco's gonna die?
Yeah, no, it's not.
You guys, read a fucking book. Greco's gonna be around forever.
Yeah, it's kind of what started the Olympics, man. Like, I couldn't believe when they started talking about taking that shit out of the Olympics. I was like, have you guys read history books lately? I'm pretty sure.
These guys are the most educated. The Greco fans are the most educated. It's the minuscule technical development.
Yeah.
That like the small little things that they're seeing that you can't see. A lot of people can't see, so they don't see how they're working for position. They don't see how they're making angle. They don't see how they're progressing. Yeah. Like, well, they're not doing nothing. No, this guy's actively progressing towards that underhook, making that underhook better.
Yep.
You don't see what he's doing.
Yeah,
right?
He's not
just because it's not some big bomb, right?
Just runs in and just rips up an upper hook in there.
Right. Yeah.
He's trying to
dive at his foot. Dive at his foot. Let him crotch lift you. Well, that's not fucking. That ain't gonna work.
That ain't gonna work either. So, right on.
So I don't know.
So you guys did pretty well in college. I mean, as far as the accomplishments that you were looking to get, obviously probably weren't what you wanted. But
for me, like I'm very candid. Like the only way for me to do my wrestlers justice is to tell them the whole story, right?
Yes,
dude, I could not handle the social. I was out every night.
Okay, it's hard, dude.
Social.
You're in college, dude. Man. Fuck.
Hey. If I had to live my life any other way, I would take none of it back.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
I love where I'm at. I love what I get to do. I love the way things turned out. Right.
Yep.
My demise as a college athlete was my social life, and that is the banner to my kids when they leave this.
Pay attention, kids. Listen to this. Pay attention.
Don't do it. You got the whole rest of your life.
Yeah.
To be the social guy.
And you're not the only dude to go through that, man. There's a lot of kids like watching my brother.
There's
soccer.
Cowboys out there. There's cowboys among us. There are guys
that can do it.
There was guys on our team. There was a guy in general that I can think of on my team that could be at the bar till 2:30 in the morning, show up, win the sprints at the stadiums there, and then pound everybody in practice.
I was bringing 6 packs.
The problem is that guy's toxic on your roster because for every cowboy, there's 4 guys that think they can be cowboys.
Yes, and they get ruined.
And they get drugged to the bar with him, or you know what I mean, or they think they can do it, so they go do it too, and they can't.
They can't.
You know, and so you look at the better programs. The better programs are the no tolerance programs.
Yeah.
The better programs are the ones that have kind of a zero tolerance for that stuff. You know, and I think it's just a really easy advantage.
Yep.
If you're not doing that.
Well, and I watched.
It's like very easy way to get an edge on guys.
But my brother went to college. He went to Parkside for soccer, and I think I was 14. Yeah, because those guys were all drinking. I was 14. They took me to a house party. And these guys are all playing soccer the next day, and one guy's getting pink bellied on the dining room table rolling off, throwing up because they hit him so many times. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm like 14 years old. Like, is this what it is?
At a high level like that, right?
Shit. Then these guys go and beat the crap out of each other on the field the next day like it was nothing. Yeah. But then I go and sit around when I was like 22 sitting with these guys at Packer games. Now I can understand where all the college drinking got them because they were putting me out by halftime. So,
I bet,
man, but that's it's hard. It's a social aspect that, I mean, just as a kid, visiting my friends in college, I saw the same thing. I saw one of my friends was in football. Well, a lot of his buddies were out and they're partying. He's like, I can't do it. Like, my body can't take that. I was like, wow, holy shit. All right. So yeah, that's tough, man. I mean, that's a whole different life dynamic you got to figure out there, on your own.
100%.
So that's 100%. It's tough. And then plus you guys just had to make a decision for 4 years of your life about where you're going. And then you wind up there and you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm
Well, and you come out of high school with this idea of like, that you're like invincible, right? Like you think nothing can happen to you. You nobody can beat you. You're the top ranked, wrestler, you're top recruit. Shit can go downhill fast. Yeah, life will smack you, knock you on your butt.
Right in the face.
But I was there for 5 years. I had a blast. I made a ton of good friends. I made a ton of great connections. I got through school, had a lot of fun, met a lot of people. Yeah. But I went there and I studied business when I was at Madison. Nice. And wrestling. And now I run a business coaching wrestling. Well, so I learned a lot from there that I keep with me today. You
guys bring a lot of valuable knowledge just with that experience. I mean, you guys, people can talk about how, oh man, I hope my kid doesn't do that. Well, you know what? Guess what? Maybe your fucking kid's gonna. You don't know. But help them through it. But those unique opportunities that you went through, it's great. But just like we were talking about coaches before that, maybe weren't that great. They can give that aspect to that kid and be like, hey, dude, I was not good.
And it's all about how do you want to measure yourself? Josh Wagner will always tease me about how he beat me in high school and this, that, the other thing. And I'll say, I know Josh, but I was like, I was a Fargo champ and a 3-time state champ. And you won state once. And then the Refke kid pinned you and I'll cock him off back, or whatever. And dude, we're 40 years old fighting like we're 10.
Yes, it's the best,
right?
Yeah, but that's the type of mentality,
Yeah, I look at Ben and I'm like, bro, you went to the Olympics and took like last. You didn't win it, loser. Like, right? Where's your ceiling? Like, talk to Lincoln McElravy. He thinks he sucks.
Yeah, right.
He got a world silver.
Right?
He thinks he was terrible. His career's a whole letdown.
Yeah, because he got a silver.
To talk to Lincoln is about wrestling is because he still doesn't think he was any good because he got a silver. It's like, dude, you're awesome, but his expectation was a world goal.
Right. And that's what he had to have.
What's the expectation?
Yeah, he had to have that going forward. And I think a lot of coaches will set that forward for you too. But, well, man, we've done 2 hours, dude.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know. And I told Teague that I was going to try and put his episode out I think we got 3 hours with him, but we'll have to bring it back because I know I want to talk some old wrestling stories, man. You seem to hold a lot of that shit in your head.
Oh, dude, come on.
That's the best.
I mean, it's what I love. I've been fortunate enough to be able to do a job.
Yeah.
Create a job around what I love because you don't have to ask me if I'm going to be at work. I'm here every day, all the time. And when I'm not here, I'm like in bed.
Yeah, watching
I'll get back from like a Super 32, and my wife will get mad at me because I'll get back from like a Super 32, and then like I've been gone for 5 days.
Yeah,
flew halfway across the country, fly home, get home late, get in bed, and then I'm kicking her. I'm kicking her because I'm watching the match.
Yeah,
go wrestle the match in bed while the match is happening. She's like, "You were just gone for 5 days on a wrestling trip, and you come home and you have to watch wrestling."
Can't help it.
It's so totally just addicted to it.
I am.
It's my drug, man. And if I'm a little bit nervous, I'm hoping I can find a dad on this trip that likes to wrestle and get a little beach wrestling in. Because I don't know if I can go 6 days without wrestling. I get a little ornery. A couple days without wrestling, I get a little ornery. I'm not joking. That's
Where's that? Where are you going to? Where's beach? Where?
We're going to Jamaica, but so I got find something to do.
You find someone out there. I bet you can find someone out there that's combing the beaches for something around there, and you'd be like, "Hey, dude, you got 10, 15 minutes?
Yep.
Let's do this."
I could pull the Palacio, $100 for a takedown.
Yeah, you might want to call the resort ahead of time, see if maybe they can get some flow on while you're there and put it on the TV at the bar or something like that. I'm not bringing my phone, but you got to have flow on the TV.
Right.
Right on, man. Well, hey, I'll get out of your hair.
Anytime, man. Let me know. I'm always down to talk wrestling.
Dude, I probably...
I want to get more people up here. I want to get
them in there.
Wrestling events in our building. I mean, we built this place. This is a state-of-the-art, multi-million-dollar complex. We built for wrestling.
Hell yeah.
In our state. Myself and the other guy here, like I said, Mr. Tomish, like, man, he just wants to hold wrestling stuff. We want wrestling events. So if you want to do a wrestling event and you don't know where to do it, get a hold of me, because we would love to host your wrestling event at the AT Lee Performance Center up here in Altoona.
Interesting.
With Crass Train.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think of stuff of my own here too, because I know I want to try and create something that's kind of cheeseheady. But it's hard with middle schools, so it's a little thing I'm still trying to think about and trying to put through. But again, the time is appreciated.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm going to have you back on for sure. I'll start up the music here. But with that being said, again, we've been talking to Jordan Crass, man. Probably one of the coolest guys. Oh man, who do we got? What's that? And then we got this other guy.
Here's the brother.
This is the one that kicked the shit out of you all the time.
Yep, there he is. There he is. I can take him now, though.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Camera out on the mat. You guys got 10 minutes quick? Let's go see this.
I'll send you a clip of it. I'm getting soft in my old age.
Same here, right in the middle.
All right, man. Well, you have a great Friday. Thank you.
You too, man. Take it easy. We'll see you later, Jordan.
See ya.
Yep.
Bye.
Good episode. Love Jordan. Thanks, everybody, for listening. It's been the Vision Quest podcast. All of our episodes are brought to you by Appleton Tattoo, located at 117 South Appleton Street in Appleton, Wisconsin, right off the main drag on College Avenue. You can't miss them. I've had some work done. I have a Celtic cross that covers my back that was done by Jason. We're not done yet. Jason Winans and crew, the artists that he have there, those guys are the best in the Fox Valley. They are definitely one to go to if it's something that you've just been kind of throwing around. They'll make you feel comfortable. It's a very clean environment, very nice crew, and very willing to get done whatever you need done when you need it done. You can message them on Facebook. I know they're on Facebook. You can give them a call at 920-604-8289 and get in touch with Jason Winans and crew at Appleton Tattoo, located again in Appleton, Wisconsin at 117 South Appleton Street, right in Appleton. Very flexible hours, great crew, clean environment again. I would not send you anywhere else except for these guys. Appleton Tattoo.